I'm Kylie.
And I'm Corey.
And we are
Lit Libations. So welcome, everybody.
Welcome. We hope you like our costumes today.
Oh, yeah.
If you can see us.
We have a couple's costume.
Yeah, literally, we were having such a hard time figuring out what our other costume for the week was going to be because we didn't know what direction we wanted to go. And we saw this couple costume of a tequila bottle, which I'm dressed as the tequila bottle.
As a dress.
Patron. As a dress, yeah.
And it says party on.
It says party on.
Right.
It's amazing. And then Corey's a lime.
Yeah. It's like a foam lime that goes over my torso.
Yeah, it's an amazing couple's costume.
I think it's fun.
We thought it was relevant because obviously we drink a lot on this podcast.
Yeah, and it's relevant today because you have tequila in your drink.
Yeah, thank God I picked that.
Okay, so for our drink, we did something a little different. We lined up all of like the alcohol, I guess, that we had downstairs.
Yeah.
And we did like a little game. And we made like a Frankenstein drink. And okay, so what's your drink?
So mine it's tequila, and then my chaser is Topo Chico, and then I have ginger liqueur and a long drink.
Yeah, and a little splash of long drink.
Yeah. And then yours is.
And then mine was crazier. Mine was like whipped vodka, like whipped cream vodka, very sweet. Bailey's salted caramel drink,
vibes,
salted caramel Bailey's. And then lime juice, like unsweetened lime juice, and sweet tea.
Yeah,
sweet tea. And I was getting nauseous at the thought of drinking it, but then when we tasted it,
mine was bad, and hers was actually really fucking good.
Mine's not bad. It's interesting.
It's
so interesting.
Mine was almost too bitter, I feel.
Yeah, so I don't know. Did you add anything to it after?
Just a little simple syrup.
Okay, so yeah, mine is so weird. The lime really is like accenting it in a way that I did not expect.
Yeah,
it's good.
No, I mean, I'm as shocked as anyone.
Yeah, and I did make a vodka soda for afterwards because it is very sweet with the salted caramel Baileys and the whipped vodka.
Yeah, you need something kind of like to neutralize the palate. For sure.
All right, so that's that. That's our fun drink. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to like figure out how to explain that in our little captions.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Oh.
The book that we're reading this week is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, and we are reading through the chapter called Iron. Yeah, if you want to keep up.
It's a fun little thriller.
It is a fun little thriller. So this is the kind of book that you read in between like your big reads.
Yeah, like a palate cleanser.
Yeah. And I think the audiobook was like 6 or 8 hours. So it's
not bad.
It's not long at all.
No.
It's the kind of book that sure it has good twists and turns. The characters you're not going to remember in a month. You're not going to remember a whole lot in a month. But
yeah, I would agree.
In the moment, it's fun. It's a fun ride.
If you need a palate cleanser, this is a good one. I think. And yeah, I don't know. I haven't really ever been in the thriller genre. I like thrillers, like in movies and stuff like that. For some reason, I've just never really read a ton of book thrillers.
Yeah.
I think I would need a little bit more if I were to read another thriller.
Oh, really? So I eat these up because I could get one out in a workday and just like cycle through it and then the next one.
But I want one. I just want more. Like I want something that's more
you want
memorable.
Something more depth and more.
Not even more depth. Like just a little bit. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I'll figure out a way to explain it as we go through.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I feel like we'll get it when we start getting into this.
Okay. As psychological thrillers go, I think it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I think this is fun because it's I think another one that we're split on. I don't hate it as much as Corey hated Haunting Adeline, but
but that one was more popular.
Yes, and that one's very it's very polarizing. Like you either love it or you fucking hate it. I feel that is the case, but this one we're just slightly on different sides.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a fun thriller for October.
For sure. No, for sure.
It doesn't, you're not going to get much more out of that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Go check out the website, litlibationspodcast.com. I update it like all the time, just what we're reading and stuff. Go join the Facebook group, Lit Libations Lounge. If you're enjoying this podcast, please consider leaving a review or rating 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We would really appreciate that.
Yes, please.
And then shout out to Cindy. She sent us an email and she said, I just wanted to say how much I love your guys' podcast. I first started listening during your Bridgerton series and I've been hooked ever since. I kept listening each week and recently I've gone back to start at the beginning. Your chemistry is so fun and I literally LOL at least once an episode. Thanks for the fun treat. I look forward to each week and keep up the good work. Sending love from Ohio.
Oh, that's so nice.
So thank you,
and that's
Sydney.
Close too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And also someone on YouTube said, we are the reason that she started ACOTAR.
Really?
Yeah. They came for the Bridgerton series and stayed for ACOTAR.
That's
Isn't that so exciting?
Insane. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. I'm having trouble uploading this week's episode 2 or last week's Haunting Adeline part 1, sorry, to YouTube.
Because it's
actually
so long?
it's 36 and 37. So would that be the last two? Episode 36 and 37. 36 won't upload.
Is that Specials Part 2?
Yeah, I think so.
That's so weird. Yeah,
whichever one was having trouble uploading, and then I haven't been able to upload Haunting Adeline part 2 because the 36 won't upload.
Weird. I just now, or like over the past couple of days, because it took forever, uploaded the Uglies movie review. Yeah, it took forever.
I wonder what's going on.
I don't know. I just assumed that it was my computer and my internet, but I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't had any trouble like thus far. So it's very strange that it's like, I don't know, maybe there's something going on with the tube.
The tube. YouTube, let us know if you're listening.
Yeah.
Let us know. How do we upload?
Because we'd like to get on the same page here. Tube.
All right, I think that's it for me. Yeah, we did the drink. Maisie's dressed as she has a hoodie on with a gold chain. The Snoop Dogg brand. It was like $4 at Meijer. I had to buy it.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to get the costume.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah, it was worth it. She's comfortable.
I love it. All right, are we ready?
Yeah, I think we're ready to get into it.
All right, let's go.
Let's crack into it.
Let's crack a lack.
All right.
All right. Chapter 1, Amelia. Okay, the chapters again. We're in one of these situations again, where the title of the chapter is whoever's point of view that we're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Lemon squeeze.
Except they weren't numbered, so it did take a long time for me to figure out who got what chapter.
Oh my god. Yeah, I agree. I was struggling.
It's kind of hard, but
Chapter 1, Amelia. We begin in February 2020.
Ooh, that's so interesting. Right before COVID.
So close. Oh.
It's right before a month before lockdown.
That's crazy. Amelia is saying that her husband doesn't recognize her at all, that nobody looks familiar to him. He wouldn't be able to pick her out of a police lineup, which is crazy. Yeah. Amelia is driving in the winter from London through the Scottish Highlands during a February snowstorm. She and her husband, Adam, along with their Labrador retriever, Bob, who is the best character in the book, are in an old car, a 1978 Morris Minor, and they're driving at night, which I have no idea what a Morris Minor is.
Me either, and I did not retain that detail.
No. Yeah, okay. They said it more than once.
Oh, so you thought it'd be important?
And no, I didn't think it'd be important, but I was like, I feel like I've heard so many car brands in my entire life, and like,
what is it?
Never in my life a Morris Minor.
Okay, we'll Google it.
Like Chuck Morris.
Chuck Morris. Oh my God, look at it.
oh, that looks like a British car for sure. Like
that's hilarious.
Like a UK car, because that's where they are, right? They live in London. Yeah, that's a British car image. For sure. Okay, maybe that's why, because maybe this is like a cultural thing. Maybe we don't have a lot of Morris Minors in the United States.
And this looks like an insane car to be driving in the middle of winter in the Scottish Highlands.
Yeah, at night.
At night. Yeah, that's a funny detail.
And so she won this trip to the Scottish Highlands in a raffle at Battersea Dogs Home, which is where she works. It's like a dog shelter.
Yeah, for like
dogs.
I can't imagine it's like the pound. It has to be like more like
it feels like a rescue.
Yeah, a rescue. Beautiful word.
The trip is one final attempt to save their marriage. We get a bunch of like super pretentious quotes about like life from Amelia, including but not limited to have wasted so much of our lives by not really living them makes me feel so sad. We weren't always the people we are now, but our memories of the past can make liars of us all. Or Time can change relationships like the sea reshapes the sand.
That's a good one.
That one I seriously see on a mug.
And she put it on a mug and sent it to me.
Etsy or a t-shirt or
so
something.
Fast. You did
like
so fast.
Yeah, like some middle-aged white woman would wear like out and about.
Targeted ads on Facebook, you know what I mean?
Oh my God. Or like something that some like woman that's going through like a hard time in her relationship would like write, like repost on her Facebook
cross
page.
stitch, yeah.
And everyone's like, what's the matter? Yeah. Is everything good with you and Frank?
And then she doesn't say anything.
She doesn't say anything.
That's so right.
I'm obsessed. Amelia does the driving on this trip because Adam never had a license. Amelia says that Adam has a condition called how do you say
I don't know.
this?
Let me see it.
Prosopagnosia. Prosopagnosia.
Where's it at?
It's right there.
Oh, okay.
It's face blindness.
That's
It's
a
what it is.
pretty good guess.
Prosopagnosia.
Yeah.
It's face blindness, which prevents him from recognizing people's faces when he sees them, even the face of his wife. So basically when he looks at people, it looks like
they're strangers.
It looks like a Van Gogh painting, like that painting where it's like swirly and like he can see shapes and stuff like that, but when he looks at people, it's like distorted.
It's so interesting. I can't fathom it. If you suffer from face blindness, write in.
And
I want to know what you experience.
Yeah, I would love a little experience.
It's just a crazy condition.
Amelia does seem to be sad that their marriage is falling apart and they've been struggling for a long time. Quote, behind closed doors, things have been wrong with Mr. and Mrs. Wright for a long time.
And their name is Wright, Wright.
Wright.
It's good writing.
She does seem to express insecurity about the way that she looks and how she's aged. She talks about this more than a few times throughout the book.
Yeah. I would love to have a husband with face blindness. Can we be? I don't have to worry about what I look.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have like body blindness. Like, I'd rather he not.
Do I look fat in this? I have no idea.
I have no idea. I have body blindness. Like, how convenient for me, right?
That's good.
Adam is a screenwriter who finds novels he likes and turns them into screenplays for movies or TV shows. He's very popular. He's very good at what he does. Not popular, I should say, but he's very well known in the industry of Hollywood. Amelia is proud of him, even though he's so devoted to his work that he's grown emotionally distant from her.
Yeah.
After struggling with the directions for quite some time, they arrive at a chapel that has been turned into a rentable or like residence, so like an Airbnb
kind of thing,
or like a hotel or something. They are in the middle of nowhere. Even the little pub down the street looks like it's been closed for ages. They get out of the car with Bob to find that the doors are locked, and it's snowing really heavily. Like the snowstorm is like continuously getting worse and worse.
It's a lot of vibes. There's atmospheric.
So much going on. There's like a ton. They make their way around the building in the miserable weather to try and find another point of entry into the chapel. Surprisingly, when they make a full loop back around to the front, they discover that the front doors are open.
And they're like, what?
Like wide open.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah, that's probably what I would have packed and like probably left.
Yeah, like, oh, this isn't going to work out.
But, you know, they did mention that as they were driving there was a part of the road that like one side of it was like dropped off to a deep, like off
a cliff
into the lock. So like, it's it was a dangerous drive to get there. Like it wasn't just like driving on the highway or like down like a small back road. Like literally the road was treacherous.
And I'm not familiar with the Scottish Highlands, but I can picture it.
I can too.
Yeah,
I can too. Chapter 2, Adam. So we're in Adam's POV, which is the husband, by the way. We start the chapter with yet another pretentious quote. Life is all about choices and learning how to put ourselves back together when we fall apart. Isn't that just like, I'm going to seriously.
Yeah, I can see that like hanging up like in a sticker above someone's bed. Like a sticker. A wall sticker.
It's so dead. I can see all these on some Facebook page somewhere. I'm so serious.
You should create one. You'll be so popular.
A Facebook page just specifically from quotes from this book. Because that's like, Adam and Amelia are both shocked and a little weary that the doors just opened. And they both decided that maybe it was the wind that blew them open.
Yeah, they're just like, whatever. Glad we're inside.
Yeah, we need it to be warm. Adam says that he has a headache from the night before because he was drinking with someone he shouldn't have been drinking with.
Who?
Which we never get the answer to that, by the way.
Weird.
Like, not ever, never, ever.
That is so weird.
Yeah, that's annoying. They bicker about where Amelia found this booking of the Airbnb, and Amelia said that she won it in a raffle at work. Adam expresses like some irritation and impatience towards Amelia because she's like annoying.
She's like, I have no idea who sent it.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, and he says that their relationship has been growing distant. And he says, my wife says the same things lately over and over, and her words always feel like a pinch or a slap. I don't understand you. Irritates me the most because what's to understand? She likes animal more than she likes people, and I prefer fiction. I suppose the real problems began when we started preferring those things to each other.
Yeah, I could see that.
Adam describes his job a bit more, and he tells us that he is a workaholic because he loves his job.
Okay.
Though he does say that he doesn't want to spend his whole life adapting other people's work. He has his own stories to tell after all.
Yeah, he wants that. That's very important.
Yes.
Very important.
Yeah. He expresses that he's quite good at placating and disarming others, such as people like actors and directors, because that's a huge part of his job in order to let people like adapt their work or like be happy with what his screenplays are. Like he has to be good at disarming people, which is, I don't know.
It's a good talent.
I think it's important because he has to. Yeah, I do think that's important too. Mm-hmm. Charming people is a part of my job, is what he says. Sorry, I hate myself. The ability in being able to charm others comes partly because he can't recognize faces. Adam seems to not be excited about this weekend. He seems to not believe that the weekend away can save their marriage. He takes their bags from the car and they enter the chapel, which is cold inside and has like a rustic kind of vibe.
Okay.
One wall is lined with 50 mirrors at weird shapes and all different sizes.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. I don't know if I could live in an old church like this, but that's fine.
I think it's cool. I would at least stay.
It's a cool idea. Yes. I would Airbnb it, but I wouldn't live there.
Yeah. There's a difference.
Adam notices an antique bench covered with dust, which would suggest that no one has been there in a long time or cleaned. And Amelia points out a child's face drawn into the bench, like a smiley face, making a snarky comment about how he didn't need to be petty and draw in the dust because of like the fact that it hasn't been cleaned.
What? I forgot about that.
Yeah. I think I wanted to highlight that I think I was just trying to highlight that their relationship is really rocky. So there was a lot of comments back and forth. And I do feel like in the beginning, I noticed that Amelia was just very snarky. Like, and I just kind of wanted to highlight that for some reason. I didn't know if it was going to be important.
Right. It kind of is.
As they look around the room, the doors slam shut behind them. Chapter 3, Rock. Limerence. Involuntary state of mind caused by a romantic attraction to another person combined with an overwhelming obsession or obsessive need to have one's feelings reciprocated.
AKA Zaid Meadows.
AKA Zaid Meadows.
From Haunting Adeline.
So each of these chapters that are not from the perspective of Amelia or Adam or Robin, which is the other person that has a point of view, is letters.
Right.
Okay, so this chapter is a love letter written to Adam. Every year his wife writes him a secret letter that he is unaware of and she will probably never allow him to read. And these are the letters. Okay, in this letter, we are starting in February of 2007. She tells a story of their meeting and when they moved in together, which was pretty quick. Their relationship moved very quickly. She writes, I confess that moving in together wasn't exactly how I imagined. It's harder to hide the darker side. Then she crosses it out and she goes, the real side from someone you live with. And you did a better job of concealing all the clutter when I only came to visit. Which I just thought was like so like relatable. Yeah. When they first moved in together, they had a big argument when she found a copy of Adam's unpublished screenplay, Rock, Paper, Scissors, and she ended up reading it. She admired the work, but Adam considered her reading it without permission obviously very like intrusive. Okay, eventually he forgave her and even let her in on his work. She would edit his screenplays and give him advice on the story.
Oh.
Yeah, that became like their thing.
Yeah.
The letter tells the story of when she wanted to get a dog, and at first Adam was like, no fucking way. But then the next day, when she went to work, the dog that she had specifically wanted and like was asking Adam for was waiting in the middle of the floor at her work with a dog tag that said, will you marry me?
Oh.
Isn't that so? That's the best story.
I did like that one.
It was really sweet.
Yeah.
She's so happy and excited that she forgets to accept the proposal at first. So they decide to play a game of rock, paper, scissors, which is like their tradition, to seal their engagement. And I think his scissors or her scissors always cuts his paper or something like that. And that,
like they always throw the same thing.
Yeah, and she's always the one that gets like
the win.
The win. Yeah. It's very sweet. Chapter 4, Adam. He admits that he slammed the chapel doors closed, but he doesn't tell Amelia that it was him because he doesn't want like a fight.
Did he do it on accident or out of anger?
No, he said that he didn't mean to like, he didn't think that he closed them that hard. And the sound that he was just like, oh.
He's always got an exclamation.
Yeah.
Explanation.
But doesn't everyone in this book?
Yeah, every time. That's the fun of it.
Yeah, that's fair. Because everyone there's two sides of the story. There's one side, the other side, and the truth.
That's right. And we get all three.
Yeah. But never the truth. Okay. They note how during the time that they are there, including now, Bob has been growling and scratching at the doors, which is very out of character for him. They explore the ground floor of the chapel, opening the door that Bob was scratching at that leads to the kitchen. They find a note left for the three of them by an unnamed person. And it says as followed. Dear Amelia, Adam, and Bob, please make yourselves at home. The bedroom at the end of the landing has been made up for you. There is food in the freezer, wine in the crypt, and you'll find extra firewood in the log store out back should you need it. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Sounds legit.
Then they're like, okay, who the fuck is we? Probably the housekeeper. That's what they say.
Yeah, it's always the housekeeper. They're just like, it's got to be something. So maybe the housekeeper, I guess.
This fictitious housekeeper that apparently is terrible at her job because she hasn't dusted in probably
like
3 years.
Thick of dust.
Yeah, so much dust. Amelia says that she has no idea who the housekeeper is who donated the chapel for the weekend. She doesn't know shit. She just knows she got an email and it said, hey, come to the chapel because you want it.
That sounds great. I will do that.
So Adam at one point suggests that a housekeeper could be a woman, to which Amelia replies, I don't know. What makes you think it's a woman? Men are also capable of cleaning, even if you never do.
Oh.
Sometimes her comebacks are kind of iconic.
That's like you're just like looking to start a fight at that point.
I know. Well, and maybe I thought it was interesting, and I don't really remember honestly, but I feel like maybe I thought it was interesting because it seemed that they were implying that she was the one that is more invested in this weekend than he is. I feel like that from the start.
Yeah, I agree.
And then every time she has a chance, she's making some sort of remark to like very, very like put him down very hard.
Right.
And I just think it's funny because I'm like, that's not how you're going to get your man back.
Right. Save your marriage.
Yeah. Like, that's not an effective way to communicate, darling. They go back out into the main room where there is a large lounge that looks more like a library. It's got like a wall that's lined with books.
Sounds
Beautiful. There is a giant spiral staircase on one side of the room and a huge fireplace on the other side of the room. So it's like, are you imagining it like open concept? Used to be like a giant, like, probably prayer room or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm picturing it. It's beautiful.
I know. I want to see it.
Yeah. They decide to light the big fireplace and the chapel begins to warm. Amelia suggests that they put on some music to drown out the sounds of the storm because it's getting loud and, annoying, I guess. And when Adam goes to get his phone to put on the music because he prefers his taste to hers.
Oh my God, rude.
It's so rude. It reminds him that Amelia is lying to him.
Oh yeah.
Quote, I saw her remove my mobile from the glove compartment before we left home this morning. I always put it in there for long journeys. I feel nauseous if I look at screens in cars or taxis. And she knows that. I watched her take it out and put it back in the house.
Oh my God.
Then I listened to her lie about it all the way here.
Yeah.
Having been married for so long, I know better than to think that my wife doesn't have some secrets. I certainly do. But I have never known her to behave this way. I don't have to see her face to know when she's telling me the truth.
Ooh.
You can feel it when someone you love is lying to you. What I don't know yet is why.
Yeah, that is so weird.
Isn't it crazy?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, that's nuts. Chapter 5, Amelia. Amelia thinks about how strangely Adam is behaving.
Then the script flips.
Every time I feel like I'm like ping-ponging through this story.
Yeah.
She chalks it up to him being tired and hungry, and she decides that they need to find some food. Because the storm has cut them off from all available food sources, she searches the kitchen. The kitchen is strangely empty. She can't find any food in the fridge, no pots and no pans.
Oh my gosh.
And there's only 2 place settings. That's it.
There's like no other plates or knives or forks or anything.
No, literally just like 2 plates, 2 cups,
everything.
and like 2 forks, 2 knives. That's it.
That's so funny.
She thinks about the stress of her work. They had just gotten a cockapoo. There were 3 people that applied. Amelia had to turn them all down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because one of them, she goes into more detail
Like
about
a
that,
little
but-
rant about a woman who just wants it for like her Instagram
Yeah,
followers.
Yeah. I think she says nobody goes to a home where they won't really be loved on my watch. I think it's just supposed to highlight like
That she's
her
a-
dedication to her work.
Love a dog lover
Yeah.
and an animal lover.
Yeah, and just how like she's just she loves what she does.
She does, yeah.
You know, she also
Yeah.
thinks about how she has trust issues and how when she meets someone she trusts, she does everything in her power to not have to let them go. She's like, once you're in my clutches, you're not going anywhere. You're like, I'm
Oh
like
my
a
gosh.
spider in my web.
That's
type thing. But like
interesting.
not in like a bad way. She's like, I trust you. Like, I don't want you to ever leave kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's scared to leave her husband because she doesn't have anyone else. She notes how her parents had gotten into a car accident on their way to the hospital while her mother was in labor. So at one point they mentioned that her parents died before she was born. And I
Yeah.
remember texting this to Corey and I was like,
That was so
how
funny.
do you die before someone's born?
She's like, how are you born an orphan?
How are you born into
Like,
the world an orphan?
This is bad writing. And then they explain it.
Then
like a
they
joke.
do explain it. Yeah. So they died in like on the scene right after the car accident on the road, like right there. And a doctor who happened to be driving by delivered her from her mother.
Yeah.
Who had since passed.
Yeah. Ugh.
Which is crazy because I don't like
Traumatic.
It's not only traumatic, but it's like a literal medical miracle. Like I don't think
Yeah.
that
That happens.
like
I don't know
ever
how-
really.
Yeah, because he would have to go in, right, through the stomach. He would have to do
He
a
probably would have to
C-section,
do like an on-site C-section,
which is
I would
crazy.
assume.
Can't even imagine that.
Yeah, that
Unless she was actively being like
And-
in labor because
and it would have
she
to
was
have been, and
dying.
it would have had to have been like a labor and delivery doctor because I don't think like random doctors know how to do C-sections.
they do rotations.
They do rotations, but in their specific field, they don't do like rotations in other people's fields.
They do. I think so. I
They
think when they're
don't.
starting out before they pick a specialty. I don't know if you're a doctor. Let us know if you would know how to do a C-section.
I just know because my friend she's oh my god, what is it called when you're this is what
gynecologist?
she's a gynecologist, yeah, and I guess she knew immediately what she was gonna do, like what her specialty was gonna be. So maybe but I don't think all doctors, like I think some doctors do go in knowing what they want to do, and if they do, they only do the rotations in their specific
Makes
field.
sense. Yeah,
So.
that's crazy.
But even so, let's say
Lucky.
let's say like it's a doctor that had like 3 rotations in gynecology in his first year of residency, like, and this is potentially a seasoned doctor.
Still impressive.
That's still crazy. Sorry, shout out to the doctor on scene because that's insane.
That is.
Adam comes in to help her look for food and surprises her when he opens a side door, like off to the side of the kitchen that apparently she hadn't seen, revealing a long hallway and a massive freezer filled with individually wrapped frozen dinners.
Oh yeah, labeled.
And so, okay, can I just say really quick that when I first read, like when I was first reading this, I thought, oh, those are people that they're eating.
You
I
just
thought
look
this
for
was
the most
cannibalism. I
insane
thought it was
plot
cannibalism.
twist.
Well, because you want to, yeah, I did. Because you don't want to, like, it's not like it was like Stouffer's frozen foods.
Right,
Like, it was like homemade.
in foil.
In foil.
like
and
Sharpie.
the first things they said was like spaghetti, like meatballs, and like
Yeah.
something steak, chef
That's so funny.
And so I was like, oh yeah, this is cannibalism for sure. They're about to find out.
That wasn't suspicious to me at all. I love that.
Amelia notices that the stone flooring is partially made of old tombstones. Adam says that he also found the wine cellar or the crypt. It was under this wooden door.
Yeah.
And this like immediately is giving Amelia just like anxiety vibes because she's like, this looks shady and strange.
Yeah, it is weird.
The crypt.
Yeah.
I mean, is it like it is and it isn't? Like I'm sure.
You're right.
Here's.
You convinced me. No, but for real, because it's an old chapel.
Because it's an old chapel.
The crypt is going to exist. And then if you convert it into a home, you might turn it into a wine cellar.
It seems like the most logical place.
It's very logical.
It just seems very logical.
Is.
Adam opens the wooden trap door after he tells her he found an electric torch somewhere. Like
it's a flashlight.
No, it's not. Are you being so for real?
Yes. I feel like that's what they call flashlights, torches.
Okay. So let me just, so before we because seriously, before we start making fun of me too hard, this is set in like UK.
Yeah.
In the UK. So electric torch is not a flashlight.
I think so.
That's amazing.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so he found I was literally thinking picture like an old torch, like long wooden handle, like he's holding it and like whatever,
but
it has like a fake plastic flame. It's all plastic. I thought it was like that. Like I'm so serious. I was like, who has something like that?
That is hilarious.
Yes.
No, yeah, they call flashlights torches.
I didn't. Okay. So it makes more sense that he found a flashlight.
Yeah.
So he found an electric torch / flashlight, which is not strange apparently. And the cold temperature coming from the crypt was making Amelia shiver because it was like extremely cold. That's so embarrassing. Chapter 6, paper. Word of the year, shenanigans. Secret or dishonest activities or maneuvering, silly or high-spirited behavior, mischief. Okay. February 2009. This is their first year of marriage, and it's been a roller coaster. They got married and went to Scotland for the honeymoon. They do seem to be overall happy, but their financial situation is a bit precarious.
Oh.
But because of Adam's lack of work. She tells Adam that the agent of Henry Winters, his like idol, an older prolific author who is Adam's like favorite person ever.
It's like Stephen King. I pictured kind of like popularity, and he writes thrillers and stuff, right?
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, the agent of Henry has died, and she suggests that Adam might like ask about turning one of Henry's novels into a screenplay. After all, maybe it was Henry's agent that was convincing him not to have his books turned into screenplays.
You never know.
Nudge, nudge. He doesn't seem to be on board, considering many people have tried and failed on that front. So she's like, okay, I'm just going to switch strategies because I'm not getting anywhere here, and decides to give him their anniversary gift. Mm-hmm. He'd forgotten their anniversary. Which is one of the many reasons why I fucking hate Adam. Saying that since their marriage was on a leap day, they had 3 more years, so they had to celebrate.
In his defense, is what he said. I'm not defending it.
Fucking twat. Anyways, she, however, learned origami for his gift.
Oh.
Because the traditional gift for their first year of marriage is paper. And so she made him an origami crane, which is meant to symbolize luck.
Yeah.
And
Did you ever
Adam
do that in school? Make cranes?
No. Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, Adam is very superstitious. So he's like, that is the sweetest thing I've ever received.
I need to keep it with me forever.
And he puts it in his wallet. She leaves so that Adam can work alone. And when she returns, he tells her, like with a big surprise, anniversary surprise, like a dinner or something, that Henry's agent called him to meet with Henry.
Oh my gosh.
The meeting wasn't spent talking about Henry's books at all, but it seems to have gone well. After the meeting, his agent calls Adam again to say Henry wants Adam to do the screenplay for Henry's first book, The Doppelganger.
Oh my gosh.
which I would like to read. Adam sets up a celebratory meal for her, like I said earlier. And although she is happy for him, she feels guilty because she secretly intervened with Henry on Adam's behalf.
Yes.
But we don't really know how or why.
Yeah.
Because they used to be lovers.
Who?
I'm joking. That was my guess.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I could
that
not
Henry
fathom.
and his wife used
Right.
to, and Adam's wife used to be lovers.
Right,
That was my guess. I was like, they used to bone.
Oh my God, I could not think of anything. When I think of Henry Winters, I think of the man from Up, the old man from Up.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, in my defense, okay, I feel like I'm going to be saying this a lot during this.
Oh.
A lot that happens.
Yeah.
That kind of thing happens all the time.
Yeah, I'm not judging it. My mind didn't go there.
Yeah, that's fair. She says, I worry that if he knew Henry Winter only trusted you with his book because of me, it might be the end of us. Because why else would it be the end of them?
That's true.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless there was some sort of jealousy.
Yeah, that's right.
I know. I'm a genius. Chapter 7, Amelia. As Amelia waits in the hallway above, Adam makes his way down into the wine crypt in the chapel. Amelia holds her breath as she waits, and he returns with a bottle of red wine that turns out to be pretty good, actually. Because they don't really do wine, you know?
They don't?
I don't know. She just said something about how she was like, I don't know wine that well, but it was good or something like that.
Okay. Keep that in mind.
After they eat their chicken curry, which is what they chose, or was it cannibal curry?
We will never know. It could be.
It wasn't. That they warm up in the microwave, and they drink the wine as they sit before the fire. Amelia starts feeling affection toward Adam, and she starts to reach out her hand for his. But then she stops herself.
Oh.
Because she's... My fingers walk towards Adam's. I can't remember the last time we touched each other, but my hand stops short, as if scared of getting burned. Affection is like playing the piano. You can forget how to do it without practice.
That's true. I have forgotten to play the piano. How the piano.
I've forgotten how to play piano.
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
And also, put that on a shirt. Adam watches Amelia silently. She knows that he knows this is a make or break weekend for their marriage. However, what he doesn't know is that if things don't go according to plan, only one of us will be going home.
And that's from Amelia? And I don't understand that.
And I'll never understand
the whole time.
There was really, the explanation was shit. I just wrote chapter 8, Adam. But it says chapter. Chapter 8, Adam. Adam has been watching Amelia's hand hover near his. He feels for a second like he wants to hold it, and then he feels disappointed when she pulls it away.
Damn.
He wants something to do to distract himself. Normally, that's messing with his phone, but, you know, his wife hid it back at the house. Or
Took it out of the car.
Took it out of the car like a bitch. No, I'm joking. Amelia's great. No, she's, well, like Amelia, he has a secret plan for this weekend. He thinks about work, and Amelia offers her thoughts about him revisiting his own screenplays. But then she reminds him that he promised not to work. Okay, this was so funny because, like, literally they're sitting there in silence, and he's thinking about his screenplays, and he's like, maybe I should revisit my screenplays. And she goes, you should really revisit your screenplays and, like, see if you can make those into your own work.
And he's like, I'll fucking never do that, you stupid bitch.
He literally, no, and he's like, I don't know, it's just not at the right time. And she's like, well, you promised not to be talking about work. And he's like, you brought it up.
They're just like bickering. But that's what he was thinking about doing. And then he was like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's not the right time.
But I know they're crazy.
They're just creating drama for themselves.
I'm obsessed with them, kind of. But with nothing else to distract him, he removes the origami crane from his wallet. He begins to tell the story again of when he got the origami crane and when he showed it to Henry Winter all those years ago. But she doesn't want to hear it. She's like, I've already heard the story. She becomes angry and frustrated, and she snatches the crane and tosses it into the fire.
That's insane.
Adam manages to grab it before it can get completely consumed by the flames. And he was like, this is my final straw. Like, I'm literally over it.
What? Go ahead. Go.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I would just throwing anything special of someone's into the fire. That's insane.
Yeah. Well, this felt like a red flag for me, like very, very strongly, because as a wife, like I feel, or even like as a longtime partner, like whatever, I feel like if I gave something to my partner that even if it was that small, that I knew he still cherished.
Right.
Like,
or if you were over it.
I would be so... I was just confused because even if I was so mad at Corey, like I wouldn't throw something that that I gave to him that he cherished.
Right. And that was when I texted you, because this whole time, like, I know there's twists coming. That's what this book is about. And I was like, I gotta guess I'm on the way.
Yeah.
And then I texted Kylie and I was like, this is not Amelia at the cabin with him. This is someone else.
This is someone else with him. Yeah. And I can 100% see it because I was like, this isn't tracking for me
because we just saw the chapter where he got the crane and then she threw it in the fire. Like, she wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was like, what's going on there? That's not her. His face blindness. he doesn't know that it's not her. And that's where my mind was going.
Yeah, this is when I knew he wasn't faking his face blindness.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if it's not Amelia, which, would seem plausible at this point to me too, then he's not faking his face blindness.
That was... My list of predictions is crazy.
It's amazing. I love it. Amelia throwing the crane in the fire convinces him to follow through with his own secret plan. He says,
what is it?
If I wasn't sure before I am now, I am counting down the hours until this is over once and for all.
It's so dramatic, but we don't know what he wants. We don't know what's going on yet.
He's a dramatic man as fuck. But he is a writer, so it does track.
Yeah.
Chapter 9, Cotton. Word of the year. Growlery.
What is it?
A place of refuge or sanctuary for use while one is feeling out of sorts. A private room or den to growl in. February 2012. In this letter, Adam's wife commemorates their second anniversary.
Right.
She congratulates him in his successful screenplay adaptation, but is a bit upset about his absorption in his work. The fact that he's just kind of ignoring her a little bit.
Right.
The Hollywood studio who bought it at auction paid more for those 120 pages than I could earn in 10 years.
Got it.
It was amazing, and I'm so happy for you, but so sad for us because now we see even less of each other than we used to. You don't seem to need me or my input into your work as much at all now, but I understand. I really do. I like this girl. She mentions how she has been hoping for a baby, but that hasn't happened yet.
Aww.
She talks about how Adam made a surprise plan for their anniversary. He told her to pack a passport and a bag, and she thought that they were going on a trip.
Of course you would think that.
Who wouldn't think that? Instead, he took her to a broken down 2-story house in Hampstead Village, in a section of London that he purchased for them to renovate. Yeah, very sweet. And like it's a very.
What about my passport? Are we still doing?
Yeah, like why did we need the passport?
It was a red herring.
Yeah, she loves the house and she can see all the potential in the home that he sees, and she's happy. Like this is good. This is like it's good for her. Yeah. He takes her to the bedroom where there is a bed that has been made up of 100% Egyptian cotton sheets. Which is cotton, by the way, is a traditional gift for the second anniversary.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm. And there's a bottle of champagne on ice on the floor. And she ends the letter by saying that she couldn't imagine being luckier.
Your wife, kiss, kiss.
Your wife, kiss, kiss. That bitch.
That bitch. Chapter 10, Amelia. Amelia feels awful. She didn't mean to throw the crane into the fire. She just snapped. But she does blame it on Adam for making her feel crazy. She's like, it's his fault for making me feel this way. That was crazy.
You know what, though? At this point, I kind of understood.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't like Adam. I really hate Adam.
I know you don't. Yeah, he doesn't really get much better. She apologizes and then goes on an inner rant about an abused dog named Lucky that was surrendered at her shelter this week, or rescue. And how he wasn't lucky at all. And neither is the paper crane. It's all superstitious nonsense. Because I think you established that Adam is very superstitious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's just like not into it.
No.
Then she tells him she feels like the only one making an effort. They don't talk anymore. He feels like a roommate. He never asks her intimate questions. He makes her feel unlikable, unloved, and invisible. And then she starts to cry. To her surprise, he holds her and comforts her and kisses her. Like passionately. They decide to have another glass of wine before heading to bed. Amelia heads into the kitchen to grab the bottle of wine, and something about the stained glass window catches her eye. She looks closer at it, And there are no religious scenes like she assumed, only different colored faces, which I don't think is relevant. Mm-mm. And then she sees a white face in the window, like through the window. Someone was outside staring right at her. Chapter 11, Adam.
But do you know what? Okay, really quick. Do you know what's so crazy?
What?
Is like, we know that he's decided that he's going to do something that, like, not great, right? Like, we know that. Because he's like what, after the origami incident, crane incident into the fire thing, he's like, if I wasn't sure before, I'm sure now. It's going down with me and Amelia.
All he wants to do is leave.
For sure. But then like 5 seconds later, he starts making out with her.
Yeah, he is very hot and cold, isn't he?
I was so confused.
It is confusing. Every other paragraph tries to shove you in a different direction.
Yeah.
Like change my mind every chapter.
See, and that's where I'm like, dude, fuck Adam. Because we know that Amelia is never like, in any of the chapters, she's never like, I don't want to make this work with Adam. So everything that she does makes some sense, maybe like minus her snapping. But even the snapping kind of makes sense. Like even I can rationalize her throwing the origami into the thing because I'm like, she's just so fed up with everything Adam right now.
Yeah.
Even though she wants to elicit an emotion. But like Adam just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it is confusing. I don't know if they wrap that up neatly at the end.
Not that part for sure.
Chapter 11, Adam. Adam runs into the kitchen asking what's wrong because he had heard her drop the wine bottle and she screamed and he heard that. She tells him what she saw and he says he'll go outside and take a look. She cuts her finger on the broken wine bottle and he holds her for comfort and her shampoo stirs memories of happier times. And I thought that was relevant. I think it might be. I'll come back to it.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah. He thinks about how since he has face blindness, he has an instinct for inner beauty and she's got it. And he trusts his gut and can tell whether someone is good or bad. And he's almost always right. Almost always is, I thought was going to be a really big, important phrase.
So did I. And it kind of is and it's kind of not.
Yeah. He offers to clean up the mess and goes straight to where the broom and dustpan are. And when Amelia asks how he knew it was there, he says, I don't know. Lucky guess, I guess. How did he know?
Yeah.
Has he been there? Adam asks if maybe she imagined the face in the window, but she insists there's definitely a face in the window. I know what I saw. And he's like, maybe it was a housekeeper. She's like, I don't know. I don't know what she looks like.
Housekeeper that hasn't dusted in 3 years.
Yeah. She says, maybe we should call the housekeeper to let them know that someone is outside. They'd be able to do something. I don't know. And they discover that Amelia doesn't have a signal on her mobile, her cell phone.
No, not her mobile.
No service.
No.
That's how you should be doing your section.
Oh, I should. Because I think if I said electric torch,
you would have known right away.
I would have known right away on a mobile.
Bob had wandered away from them by now to the boot room, which is like the foyer, I guess, where they came in, and he's growling at the chapel doors, teeth bared, hackles raised, which is very out of character for him. Adam says again he's going to look outside, and don't worry, Bob will be there to protect him, in theory. Mm-hmm. And I say in theory because when they talk about Bob at home, he would be a terrible guard dog because he does bark and growl at home, but once the door's open and someone comes in, then
he's tails wagging,
and he's
ass
fine.
in the air.
So it's not that out of character for him to do this.
Yeah, what?
Come on. He opens the door, is blasted with frigid air, and Bob goes berserk, pulling at the leash, barking wildly because outside are several pairs of eyes staring at them. Is it a ton of people?
I thought it was a cult, a local cult.
That would have been cool.
That would have been so good.
Yeah, if they got like kidnapped by a cult.
Every time they did something like this, and I was like, oh, yeah,
this
cult.
And there's always just like a reasonable explanation a chapter later.
Or just like it wasn't at all what I thought. It wasn't that important. They weren't cannibals. Like there was just like
so yeah, I get what you mean when you said you need a little bit more from this book. You need a cult that captures.
Yeah, think about how cool it would have been if this house was haunted and or there was a cult living nearby and they kept meat of people in their freezer and like they were running from a cult the whole time.
That would be insane. If you know of a book like that, send it in. I want to read it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool. That's good.
Dude, someone's gonna steal this idea and write their own book on it.
All right,
and I'm
Tina,
gonna get no fucking credit.
We'll trademark the plot.
Or there's already a book out like that. maybe I'm stealing.
Inadvertently.
Inadvertently stealing.
Chapter 12, Leather. Word of the year, biblioclept. Noun, a person who steals stories, a book thief. And I was like, that's going to be important. It kind of is. February 28th, 2011, their third wedding anniversary. Another secret letter to Adam from his wife. They spend their third anniversary this year at a big fancy film industry party at Tower Bridge, which I don't know what that is, with hundreds of people all hoping to talk to Adam. Adam hates these type of parties due to his face blindness because he's like in a sea of strangers, basically.
Yeah, and he has to recognize people based off the scent or whatever.
Yeah, or their
like a
style. Or, yeah, that must be so hard.
Oh, yeah, maybe like their style, too. Would be good.
Well, you would think, but...
There are other features other than their
yeah.
face.
They're ushered right in as Adam at this moment is the man to be in the screenwriting world thanks to the success of his screen adaptation of Henry Winter's novel. Amelia is there so she can alert Adam who the people that are approaching them are. She doesn't mind because she likes to dress up every once in a while. Working with dogs every day doesn't really call for that sort of thing. And I can relate to that because I work with dogs every day. I wear leggings and sweatshirts.
No, that's fair. That's so fair.
Yeah,
Dressing up every now and again would be nice.
I want to dress up.
Yeah.
She was looking forward to the evening until she saw Henry Winter's name on the guest list. It was obvious Adam was hoping to run into him tonight, hoping for more details. Amelia had taken a pregnancy test that morning and knew that she could drink, and notes that she stopped telling Adam each month that she wasn't pregnant and he had stopped asking.
Oh, that makes me sad.
That is sad.
Yeah.
She had given him a leather satchel with his initials on it that morning, and he had given her a pair of knee-high leather boots that she'd been eyeing. Those are good gifts.
Those are great gifts.
Yeah.
I didn't even know this was a thing for wedding. I haven't done this once with Corey. I didn't know this was like a thing.
I've heard of it, but I've never considered
doing
I don't think I have the energy for that sort of thing.
This is a very aggressive.
Like a once a year thing.
Maybe I'll just copy this book. No, I'm just joking. I'm totally kidding.
You have like a bunch of ideas.
I have a ton
for
of
several
ideas
years.
right now. Yeah, for at least 10 years.
A party pooper of a producer approaches them, and Amelia warns him. And when he greets her, it's in a voice he only uses when talking to children or pretentious people. And she would be upset if he ever used that voice on her. Did he do that in one of your chapters, or is that later? Because he like talked to her and she's like, oh my God, he's using that.
Yes.
The voice.
He does it to Amelia. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She marvels. Yep. Yeah. She marvels at how different he is at parties compared to at home. Someone named Nathan asked Amelia what she does for a living, and he was being very condescending toward her when she said that she worked at a dog's home. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's really nice. And
that's so cute.
Yeah.
You work at a dog home? Oh, my God. That is so cute.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
Adam asked again if she had spotted Henry Winters yet, and he is sad when she says that she has not. And I think it's maybe in this chapter that they describe his, like, very unique style. He has like a tweed jacket and like a bow tie.
Yep.
Yeah. And so he should be able to recognize that, you would think, right?
Yeah. What? He doesn't have like
body blindness like you said earlier.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, like that everyone should have.
We wish everyone
that should be like a universal thing.
Yeah.
Potentially. No, I know. It's crazy.
So that's interesting to me. A little while later, he suggests that they leave early because he's clearly sad. He wanted to talk to Henry Winters. And later at home, drinking whiskey in bed after fucking on the stairs, which is what they did.
Yeah.
Very sweet. She said like they had just recently painted the stairs. She could still smell the varnish on it. It was funny.
Good for her.
She asks if he still loves her as much as he did when they got married. And he said almost always. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to come back.
Yeah, I hate that though.
Yeah.
Almost
rude.
always.
Like, okay, so when is the not always part? I'm gonna be self-conscious about that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, if Corey said that to me, I'd literally be like,
right.
We're gonna have a fight tonight. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah,
I know it's like a quirky, cute thing, but it's not cute or quirky.
I don't know. The
like
other day,
bar is in hell kind of thing.
Yeah, the other day we were walking the dogs, and I had we were going out to dinner afterwards, and I was just wearing like leggings and a long sleeve t-shirt and my fanny pack for the walking the dogs. And I was like, he's like, do I look okay like in this for dinner? I'm like, yeah. I was like, do I look okay? He's like, yeah, I would just lose and I'm like, all these thoughts went through my head. I'm like, lose the shirt, lose the pants, like change my shoes. And he's like, fanny pack. I was like, oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say like something else, and I was gonna be self-conscious. I was gonna cry when I got home. It was just fanny bag.
He's like, oh, I was gonna lose the fanny bag. Yeah, that seems like an obvious.
I looked great otherwise. It was so nice.
That's really sweet.
Okay, she reveals to us that she had seen Henry Winters many times throughout the night.
Of course.
And he was staring at them, following them around and trying to get Adam's attention. And she purposely didn't tell him.
Yeah, so Adam wasn't looking that hard. Like, I'm just gonna be so dead ass.
What's up? I would be like, what's up with this guy? He's like waving at us from across the room. Is that important?
Yeah, why is he 10 feet away from us the whole time? What was she doing? Was she like trying to distract his face the whole time? Like, I'm just so confused.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I feel like they overplay the face blindness.
I think they're overdoing it a little bit. There's like real people that have face blindness reading this. Like, that's not what it's like.
Please, if you're out there, let us know.
I need it.
3 years and so many secrets. Does Adam keep things from her as well? All my love, your wife. Kiss, kiss. Chapter 13, Amelia. Adam laughs at the sheep outside, which were all the eyes staring that scared us earlier. What we're hoping it was a cult.
It wasn't a fucking cult. Such bullshit.
Apparently, sheep just wander the Scottish Highlands. I don't really know.
They explain that. They do explain that. They do. That actually is explained away.
But are there like wild sheep that roam?
They're not wild sheep. They do explain it. It's not wild.
I know, but like, are there in other parts of the world?
In other parts of the world,
There's
wild
gotta
sheep.
Be, right?
I would assume some places are wild sheep, but probably not in the Scottish Highlands. I would assume that in Scotland, most of them are probably owned because I feel like there's like sheep. There's like a sheep farm, like breeding system in Scotland. I feel like every Scottish movie I've ever seen where there was just like a ton of sheep.
If you're from that area, if you know more info, please write in because I
would love
don't
to go to Scotland.
Oh my god, me too.
The only thing I know about Scotland is locks, land, and lots of whiskey.
Land, yeah.
Locks, land, and lots of whiskey.
Ooh,
LOL.
that could be a book title.
Thank you.
In the audiobook, they kept calling it a loch. Loch.
A loch.
Across the loch. What?
I wonder if that's how they say it in Scotland. A loch.
Maybe. Adam locks the door with a giant old key that Amelia doesn't remember seeing before, but she shrugs it off. Maybe she didn't notice it before because she's tired.
Dude,
like they're setting it up so hard for him to like. He knows where they are and he's been there before. He's familiar with it.
Yeah, he seems very weary and like nervous of her, and she seems like more nervous about their future and not nervous about him in any way in terms of like fear.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
She like never suspects him for anything bad at all.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just creeping around.
And he's like being so creepy.
I got plans or whatever. I got plans for me and you. Sorry.
She had to practically bully Adam into going on this trip as he is a self-proclaimed hermit, but now she's feeling homesick. She's wanting to leave.
Aww.
She misses their house nestled into an affluent corner of London. She thinks about how her neighbors are famous, like really famous people, like they're in the theater, people on the news, and one's an actress.
Amazing.
And then sometimes Adam's success makes Amelia feel like a failure because she's like, oh my God, all these people, I work at a dog's home, and then I'm living in this neighborhood with actresses. I can see that.
Yeah, but if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
True. It's about the dogs.
And honestly, like if I were a person, which I am.
To be clear, she's not a bottle of tequila.
To be a person, if I was made into a real boy, I would genuinely like me as a person. I think that I would be more impressed by her working at a shelter than an actress, like 10 out of 10 times. Like it's what I understand that like people want to be famous and like whatever.
Yeah.
But like it really like what does it take to be famous? Like truly.
Luck.
Yeah.
Like
Truly.
Yeah.
And actors have talent. Like I won't discredit that. Like lots of actors and singers and things like that. But truly to be famous, you don't have to have talent.
A lot of people have those talents and aren't, and then we'll never make it.
And honestly, like not everyone that's famous is talented.
That's true.
Not the Kardashians.
Yeah. That's so true. And then she's doing what she loves, helping dogs.
Yeah. Like I'm more impressed by that.
Yeah. Adam kisses her gently on the forehead. She thinks about how lately there have been many instances where Adam has not made Amelia feel good, but maybe she was projecting. Maybe he does still care. Then he tells her there's no need to feel embarrassed about seeing a sheep in the window and thinking it was a person. You just need to relax. Because he like laughed and just like assumed that she saw a sheep. And
that's hilarious.
And then she said, whenever a man or Adam tells me to relax, the exact opposite happens, obviously.
That's relatable.
Yeah. She doesn't say anything, but in her head, she knows she didn't imagine it, and she can't shake the feeling of being watched. Chapter 14, Robin. New character. We are introduced to Robin, and we are in her POV. And turns out she was the face in the window.
So she did see a face. It was not a sheep. Because how would a sheep get up to the window?
Maybe it was a low window. Maybe it was jumping. It's been over a year since Robin has seen anyone unexpected at the chapel. Luckily, she prefers her own company, so she doesn't really need other people. She's not afraid of ghosts, but people concern her. Oh, what I just said was a lie. So she's been watching these visitors. She always calls them visitors since they arrived. And she always refers to them as visitors or him or like he or like she or her.
Yeah.
So she obviously knows them, but we don't know how. She's surprised they even made it to the chapel or even tried with the impending snowstorm, unless they wanted to get cut off from the rest of the world. Robin lives in the little thatched cottage at the end of the track/road and has spent several years of her life living in the Highlands in general. She watched Adam and Amelia arrive and was happy to see Bob the dog because she liked animals.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. She is the one that let them into the chapel initially because someone had to. She was like watching them struggle to get in, and then they went around the back and she went and opened the doors.
And they didn't notice the footprints?
I was going to mention that later. They never talk about footprints, and it's snowing this entire time.
And it's like heavily snowing.
Bob goes missing later, and no mentions of footprints.
Yeah, what the
That is so annoying. That irks me.
I thought Robin for the first like while was like an 80 to 90-year-old woman.
Yeah, they definitely portray her
like
that
an
way.
old
Yeah,
crone.
because of how she's living and stuff.
Yeah, they portray her that way heavy.
Yeah,
like
they
she's
do.
Old and shriveled.
Yeah, they do.
That's how it described, and I'm like,
who is this woman?
who is this woman?
Right.
Who is her?
Who is she?
Who is thy?
Robin is fascinated by everything about Amelia. Her fashionable clothes, her long blonde hair, and flawless makeup. Meanwhile, Robin dresses for comfort and for the weather, and she hasn't had anything new to wear in years. She cuts her own hair and has a hard time remembering life before she had to come to live this way. And we're like, what is going on? Who is this woman?
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. Watching them through the window, they looked like they were having a romantic evening, but looks could be deceiving. And she's like, they don't even look scared at all. Like, what's up with that?
Fuck?
She reflects on the bad choices that she's made throughout her life and knew the couple had also made a bad choice by coming here. So we're like, okay, is Robin the one that's gonna fuck things up?
Oh, that's not what I thought at all. I thought there was something far. I thought she knew about something far more. She knew about
the cannibal cult.
I never suspected Robin as being anything other than just a simple old lady that was just spying on them because she had some sort of speech impediment and she had no.
She couldn't speak.
She had some issue being able to speak to people, and like this is her way of like, you know, figuring out her social side.
Robin is so interesting at this point.
I thought she just knew everything and knew everyone, and she was poor, and she just was like living in the cottage, you know, rent free, tax free.
That's funny.
You know.
Chapter 15, Amelia. Adam wants another glass of wine, but Amelia had accidentally smashed the one that they were drinking. But he says, don't worry, there's a ton more, but it's your turn to go to the crypt to get it. And he says, you won't be scared once you go down there. It'll be fine. And because she has a feminist backbone, she agrees to go get it, even though she doesn't want to. Silly.
That's crazy. Especially because it says that she has a feminist backbone, which will come back later, and that's fucking absolutely. That's crazy.
It is from her POV though.
Forgot this.
Unreliable narrator.
But to say as a woman to say that she has a feminist background is.
Knowing what we know. Anyways, no spoilers.
No spoilers. I'm just going to say that I want to keep this in mind.
Remember it.
Because that is...
She notices Adam closing each door behind them as they walk back toward the kitchen, and she wonders why, to keep something out or just to keep the heat in. Adam heaves open the trapdoor in the floor, tells Amelia that his flashlight is dead. His torch is already dead.
His electric torch is dead.
The batteries have already run out.
Yeah.
But there's a light switch down there, and so she goes down the stairs. She finds the light and turns it on. The room is floor to ceiling, ancient looking stone, and there's 3 metal rings embedded into the wall that she chooses not to think about too much. She's like, well, that's crazy. I'm just going to move on.
We're going to move on. We never really get a full explanation of the metal rings on the wall.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
I'm telling you, we do. Okay. To be continued next week.
TBD, yeah.
Remember the feminist thing and the metal rings in the wall. Okay.
Yeah, please remember those 2 things.
Okay.
And if we don't bring them up, because we probably will.
I will make a note after this in my notes.
Okay.
Okay.
We never bring it back up.
Never do. We're like,
do.
We'll circle back later. We never do.
Never have ever circled back once.
She finds a bottle of wine that looks good, and right when she picks it up, the lights go out and the trapdoor slams shut. She screams for Adam, but he doesn't answer, and it's pitch black. Oh my God. It's time.
Adam.
It's happening. It's happening. Chapter 16, Robin. Robin reflects on how she had prepared for a storm and for darkness, unlike the visitors. Earlier today, she had gone into town, which was 1 hour each way, to get supplies for the month, which was her monthly supply run.
Good for her.
People panic bought all the good stuff in the store, and she wonders why people feel the need to stockpile that stuff, which is really funny because the book is set in February 2020, which means like in 1 month, she's going to be super effed.
Yeah.
Or she prepared enough that it's going to be fine.
I wonder when this book was written, because I'm curious.
I think it's 2021 it came out.
Interesting, because they never ever bring up COVID ever.
Well, this all happens before COVID.
Yeah, but not at the end.
True. Yeah, I don't know.
Because she writes her last letter 6 months after.
Oh, I don't know.
It's interesting, right?
That is interesting. Yeah,
it is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how like the subtle implications that we're in pre-COVID mean anything. I don't know.
No, I don't think they mean anything to the plot.
But I feel like they should.
You would think,
weird,
right? Because at this point, like COVID is like a rumor.
Maybe you could have made it like 2018. You know, to make it in 2020 was weird. Anyways, It doesn't matter. Robin buys food and other things, and the last of the jarred baby food, even though everyone in town knows not to ask about a baby because they know that there isn't one. Knowing what we know now, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
The power is out when she gets back to the cottage. She thinks about how sometimes her mother would sleep at this cottage and Robin would join her when her parents were fighting. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
She doesn't have much in the cottage. Limited furniture, clothes, cutlery, plates, etc. She has stolen a lot of her possessions, although she does describe it as borrowing.
Knowing what, in hindsight, that's insane.
I know.
No, in hindsight, that's insane.
I actually don't know what you mean. And she smokes a pipe like, quote, he taught her. And we're like, oh my gosh, okay, who's he? She notices the chapel still has power, but when she looks again after waiting a while, the power seems to be out at the chapel. And she hears tiny footsteps behind her, and something had eaten all the baby food that she put out. She really does make her seem like she's like a literal witch.
I thought it was a deformed baby.
Yeah.
These are you guys, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not joking. These are actual things that I thought were happening.
That is so funny because it's like a lot more innocent than that. Always
100%
of the time.
ever. I think I've watched too much American Horror Story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We wish that this was more American Horror Story
vibes. Yes,
yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Chapter 17, Amelia. Trapped in the darkness of the wine crypt, Amelia feels like she's not alone down there. She thinks she can hear someone whispering her name. Then Adam opens the trapdoor. He said he dropped the door out of a surprise when the lights went out. And that's, he always has like a really good excuse. Every time something is happening, they're just like, oh, there's an excuse.
And he's lying sometimes.
Mm-hmm. She's having trouble breathing, so he leaves her down there to go find her inhaler. While waiting in the dark, she thinks about how she has asthma because she was raised in a home of chain smokers and while living in inner city flats, which is interesting. No. She strikes a match or 3 and notices scratch marks on the wall, like someone once tried to claw their way out of there. That's weird.
That is weird.
She's starting to panic And she hears her name being whispered again and then hears the sound of scratching. Chapter 18, Adam. The scratching was just Bob scratching at the door of the crypt. Which is always an explanation. Adam finds Amelia's inhaler and he can tell that she's struggling and panicking, so he goes down to her. He finds her on the opposite wall where she should be, and she takes 2 puffs of the inhaler, and then the lights come back on. And I was like, magic inhaler? No. Adam suspects that there must be a generator. Amelia just clings on to him, and he feels oddly protective of her, but he thinks what he should be feeling is guilt. That's all I got. There's a lot going on. We're like, what are their plans? Each of them feels like they have plans for the other that are like nefarious.
Yeah, and he's a demon.
Oh yeah,
or the devil.
Is that what you were going?
No, it wasn't. My predictions were so trash.
He's just a screenwriter.
Chapter. Wow, that is Hollywood devil. Chapter 19. Amelia. Adam holds Amelia as her breathing calms. She thinks about their therapist and how she doesn't have confidence in her because she's been divorced twice.
Excuse me, what? She thinks about her therapist.
She thinks about her therapist and how Amelia doesn't have confidence in her therapist because her therapist has been divorced twice.
Oh, okay, that's funny. That's a good joke.
Adam kisses her forehead to placate her and suggests that they take a bottle of wine and go to bed. They head to the bedroom up the large spiral staircase from the lounge library room.
The grand room.
Along the steps, they pass a line of black and white photos of a family's lineage, but some are missing.
Oh, yeah.
There's like dark outlines where the pictures used to hang.
Like the dust outlines.
Collected, outside. On the upper level, they see 4 doors that are identical, except that one is marked danger. Keep out.
Oh my gosh.
Right? They don't know which one is the one that they're supposed to be sleeping in, so they try each door to see if which one's locked, which ones are not, whatever. 2 of the 3 doors are locked, but behind the 3rd door is a bed with linens and pillows exactly like theirs in their bedroom from home.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
And the room is completely spotless, not a speck of dust.
That is so weird.
So
what does it mean?
What does it mean? What does it mean?
Did Adam plan this and just happen to set up the bed?
Well, because do you know what?
Did Amelia?
This obviously freaks Amelia out. Like, obviously. But Adam's like, you know what? It's probably just a coincidence.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what, girl? Do you know what you did earlier? You ordered this exact set from a catalog. Like, directly from a catalog. A magazine catalog. So the owners probably just did the same thing.
Yeah, of course.
So it's not like not that big of a deal.
Don't even worry about it.
Amelia said, it all feels so unauthentic, as if we're in a film of our lives and someone just dressed up the set with cheap replicas of the originals.
Gosh. Oh my God, that's a crazy thing to think.
It's crazy
and say.
So in hindsight, that's
hold on to that.
Dude, Amelia is actually...
I feel like you have to read this book twice to really get the full effect.
Okay, reading that back is...
Yeah. That is so fun. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Adam makes a move on Amelia to get some sexy time, which is so crazy.
Because she just had a
panic attack. He's
Yeah.
decided once she threw the origami plane that he was going to go through origami plane to origami crane.
No, I wasn't even laughing at that. Like, yeah, but you're right.
He was going to go through with his plans, and now he's trying to get his dick wet.
That's crazy.
This is why I hate Adam.
Going through with his plans, which we don't know.
Which we don't know, but it could be I still think he's going to murder her.
It sounds like you might.
Amelia is nervous for some reason and says that she needs a moment to freshen up. She takes her lingerie from her bag and goes into the bathroom. Amelia is a bit excited as she gets ready and wonders if the possibility of making love is a step in the right direction.
Oh my God.
When she opens the door into the bedroom, she discovers that the bedroom is completely empty. What? Adam is fucking gone.
Oh, I was like, he moved all the furniture? Like, how did that happen?
No, I'm devoid of people, I should have said. Chapter 20, Adam. Adam assumes Amelia is going to take a while in the bathroom. So he goes into the hallway and decides, he's like, oh my God, you know what's so fun? We should definitely go see what's behind the Danger Keep out door.
Of course, I would be curious.
He takes a candle, not a flashlight, to the...
Not a torch?
Yeah, to light the way. And Adam discovers that the stairs go up to a bell tower. Which is beautiful. He goes up there. He like walks up to like up the bell tower, whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Oh my God, this is stunning, stunning." But it's not. It hasn't been very well kept. The 360-degree view of clear night sky is breathtaking, and he decides to guess what? He decides to take out his phone from his pocket to take a photo,
which he has.
He says. As I look up at the sky, As I look up at the night sky, it seems almost inconceivable to me that something so magical is always there. We're all too busy looking down to remember to look at the stars. Put that on a shirt. Mm-hmm. It makes me sad when I think about all the things I might have already missed out on in life, but I plan to change all that.
How?
How, Adam? How? Adam thinks about how he saw Amelia hide his phone before the trip, but didn't tell her that he actually saw it and then grabbed it.
Oh my
gosh. Like, you're not pulling one over on me, bitch.
And then he didn't tell her. He secretly has his phone back. That's so funny.
You know, and he's like, Amelia's really been acting like very strange recently. And then she purchased a life insurance policy on his behalf and had him sign it when she thought he was drunk.
That is a red flag.
That is a red flag.
If your spouse asks you to sign a life insurance policy that they are taking out on you, and then you go on a trip, red flag.
That is a red flag.
They're gonna push you off a tower.
They're gonna
make it seem like an accident.
100%. Adam didn't really see a need for the policy, but he agreed because my wife is one of those women who is difficult to say no to. In hindsight, that's crazy. Adam thinks that Amelia worries.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, right. Adam thinks that Amelia worries a lot more than the average person about death and wonders what she's up to. Quote, my wife is planning something. I'm sure of it. I just don't know what yet.
You could be an audiobook narrator.
No.
You could.
I'd be so bad at it because we've talked about
I could produce it.
The editing would take 70 hours.
That's okay.
For one chapter. Adam reflects on his work again and how actors and directors get all the glory, but he will live on through his words.
Okay.
Adam believes that from his youth, people always try to change him, his mother, girlfriends, and now Amelia. We find out that his mother passed away when he was young. She was a good mother and provided well for him. She was the one who encouraged him to start reading. At first, he thought his wife wouldn't try and change him, but marriage changes people. Adam says that Amelia isn't perfect. She has cheated on him. He says...
Did we ever go through that?
No. I don't... So I think this is how I interpreted it when I wrote it, but hindsight, I don't think he actually says that she has cheated on him. I think what he says is he admits to cheating on her.
Let's look it up because I feel like they have implicated a couple times that she also cheated.
No, what he says is this exactly. Sorry, okay. And it does seem like this. When he says something along the lines exactly of, like, he admits to cheating on her, and he's like, I slept with someone I wasn't supposed to. I cheated on my wife, but like Saint Amelia isn't perfect. She also slept with someone she wasn't supposed to.
Okay, got it. So it did. You could interpret it as
cheating.
Yeah, but it didn't explicitly say that.
Yes. Okay. So that's a me thing. Ooh. Reading it in the moment. That's what I thought.
I mean, that's intentional.
That's what it sounds like
for the author for you to interpret it like that.
I agree.
So that's a really good writing.
Sorry about that. In hindsight, sorry about that.
So funny. All our notes are gonna be super fucked up.
They're gonna be so fucked up. Chapter 21. Amelia. Amelia goes to look for Adam and sees Bob staring at the keep out sign on the door. Amelia climbs the stairs to the bell tower, and Adam asks her if she can bring the wine and a couple of blankets. The two huddle together underneath the blankets and drink wine atop the chapel.
Okay.
They marvel over the stars and the moon, and Adam points out the constellation Cassiopeia, named for a queen whose vanity and arrogance led her to downfall.
Ooh, Wow. Didn't put that together.
I didn't. I did. I apparently did. I don't know if I was just putting that in there as like a fun little anecdote or if I thought that was actually going to mean anything, but it does make sense.
At the end.
Amelia remembers looking at their wedding keepsake recently, including the wedding vows that they wrote to each other. Mm-hmm. She says, promises lose their value when broken and chipped, like dusty, forgotten antiques. The sad truth about our present always punctuates my happy memories of our past with full stops.
Okay.
She realizes Adam is drunk when she suggests that the two go inside and he calls her my love. When she rises, he holds on to her and making her bump into the large church bell. A bunch of bats. Look, it's bats. What is that from?
I freaking love bats.
I freaking love bats. A bunch of bats fly out of the tower, which, by the way, bats are what started COVID.
Oh my God.
So
did it start there?
In hindsight?
No. Crazy. It's a lot of COVID
I'm
things.
sorry, that is not important. I'm sorry.
No.
Amelia is paralyzed by the gobble of bats and the fear that's arising in her. And Adam stumbles backwards, reaching for her. And obviously, like in that moment, like fight, flight, or freeze. Like she's not reaching for him back because she's paralyzed.
Oh my gosh.
But she does shake off her paralysis and grabs onto his arm as the wall behind Adam collapses.
An entire wall? So I'm confused about the way that the bell tower looks.
So my thought is like there are like small walls and then like maybe four like
I picture just like a railing.
I think I'm thinking of a wall.
Okay, so you got the bell tower. You have
and
the
then
bell.
you have like the four structures behind it with a roof.
Okay, so there's a roof.
Yeah,
I was just thinking because like the stars, there would be no roof, but you'd be able to see the stars.
Oh, you're right. There might not be a roof. But how would you hang the bell?
Yeah. How would you hang the bell?
How would you hang the bell?
There's got to be a roof. They just must be just looking beyond the roof into the sky. And it's a very easy explanation.
They must have like 3D vision. He has face blindness, but he also is able to see through things.
Roofs. Wow.
I would love that for him. That'd be amazing.
That would be cool.
I don't know, actually. I'm very confused at this as well, but all I know is there's a wall and it's not a railing. Okay. I do know it's brick. Oh, it's a brick. I feel like it's brick.
Okay. All right.
But so she saves him, right? And instead of thanking her, Adam gives her a fearsome look, like one that literally like strikes fear in the heart of Amelia.
Do you think he thinks that she tried to push him?
So this is right. Chapter 22. Adam and Amelia are leaving the chapel, angry and scared that night. He is angry because she almost let him fall. Quote, I know Amelia was scared too, but she almost let me fall. That isn't something I can forget or forgive.
You sound exactly like the audiobook.
Do I actually? That's really cool.
It is cool.
Kind of. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It's completely dark and raining, and Adam thinks about the failure of their relationship. It's impossible not to know how unhappy we both are. As they are driving, Adam sees a woman in the red kimono crossing the road in front of them and yells for Amelia to slow down. But Amelia doesn't slow down. If anything, she speeds up.
Is this a dream?
Just
so sorry. I'm stressed.
The car hits the woman in the red kimono and she tumbles off of the windshield and like the bumper and shit. And like, she gets run over and soars through the air.
I know. Describing getting hit by a car.
So that was really sad. She gets hit. Chapter 23, Amelia. Amelia tries to wake Adam up knowing he's having a nightmare. Oh. He's like a fearful child and she comforts him. Adam has long had variations of this dream of a woman in red.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Ugh. At first, he doesn't realize who Amelia is. Sometimes he thinks I'm someone else. Amelia believes that his dreams are memories that Adam resists to acknowledge.
Oh my gosh.
Refuses to acknowledge. His dreams have a habit of haunting him, regardless of whether he's asleep or awake. His mind isn't panning for gold. It's searching for something much darker. Tiny nuggets of buried regrets sometimes slip through the gaps, but the heaviest of memories tend to sink rather than rise to the surface.
That was good, though.
Thank you. As always, Amelia writes down all Adam remembers about the dream. Amelia says that the dream is based on reality. When he was 13, Adam's mother, wearing a red kimono, died in front of him when struck by a hit-and-run driver.
Oh my gosh.
And his inability to remember faces prevented him from describing the driver. But it could be someone that he knows.
That's insane to live with. Oh my gosh.
It's an insane thing.
Oh my gosh.
The accident occurred while his mother was walking the dog, a chore that Adam didn't do that day. In hindsight, this is crazy because sorry. Amelia says that Adam's mother always wore the red kimono when she was expecting one of her many male visitors.
John's.
Yeah. When the visitors came over, Adam heard everything because the walls were thin. While Adam falls back to sleep, Amelia takes a sleeping pill because she is struggling herself to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And not long after, she awakes to a noise below them in the chapel.
What is it?
I don't know.
Keep going.
Chapter 20.
To be clear, I've read all of these chapters.
Of your seat with
I've read this
right
entire
now.
book, but I don't look at Kylie's chapters after I'm done reading them.
That's fair.
They're
That's
gone.
fair. That's fair. Yeah, like they're just like gone in your head, and you're just like go back to your chapter, and you're like you don't.
This
remember.
doesn't really make sense, but I'm just gonna go with it.
Yeah, this sounds good to me. Chapter 24. Robin. What is it? How do you think a robin sounds like? No,
That's a crow. I think they. Yeah. They have normal bird noises. Yeah.
Who are you, Katniss Everdeen?
Whistling? What?
That was so good. Oh, let me wet my lips.
Was that a robin?
Catch me dead in the Hunger Games.
Sorry, Rue. We have to come up with a different plan because I am not going to be whistling today.
Whistling is not my thing. It's not my vibe. Could you imagine if I was hired as Katniss Everdeen? I'd be like, hold on, what's up?
You're going to have to put that in post-production. I can't do it.
I need a whistle coach. We need to hire a whistling coach. Oh. Robin.
Anyways, back to the
Back to the story. Back to the regularly scheduled programming. Robin also can't sleep. Oh, yeah, we're at Robin. Okay, sorry. Robin also can't sleep. Late at night, Robin marches out of the cottage through the snow to the chapel. She thinks about how the couple at the chapel didn't look happy or in love when they were like drinking wine and eating by the fire.
Yeah.
Because she was like looking in on them.
Of course.
We learn Robin took measures to prevent people from knowing where she lives by cutting up her credit cards and always using cash. Robin believes that she can never leave the cottage and that I need to do a different voice for this. Visitors, the visitors won't be able to leave and they want to either. Not that they know that yet. It's impossible not to feel a tiny bit sorry for them.
Oh, so she's got plans of her own.
She's got plans of her own. But, okay, and I put this in here because it's another like this. But life makes other plans when people forget to live. And that is almost a direct quote. It's like, life makes plans when you're busy making plans or something. Like life
makes its own plans when you're
busy making plans, or like life lives when you're busy planning or something like that. And I was like, that is literally an Etsy quote. I'm not kidding.
That's so funny.
Robin thinks about the man, aka Adam, and when he got out of the car, she wonders if he still thinks about what happened to him as a boy and about the woman in red.
Oh my God.
She knows things about that accident that Adam doesn't. When she gets to the chapel door, she looks around and admires the beauty of the lock, especially in this weather, which she notes is her favorite type of weather because the white hides the dark and ugly underneath. Mm-hmm. Robin takes out a key and lets herself into the chapel.
Oh my gosh.
Chapter 25, Linen.
Linen.
Word of the year, hornswoggle. It's a verb to get the better of someone by cheating or deception.
Interesting.
February 2012, when the world was supposed to end.
Oh my God, yeah.
Do you remember that?
I thought it was May.
It wasn't February. I'm just saying like
2012.
2012.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. That was I knew I was working. A lot of people that I worked with believed it. They were like giving away their possessions.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Some people believe that the world did end and we're like in a different timeline.
I love that for them.
You love that for them?
Yeah, sure.
I kind of wish that if I died, I just died. I didn't really want to be in a different timeline, if I'm honest. Like, I'd rather, like, then what's heaven? Like, if we're in a different timeline, if we died and there's a different timeline, where's heaven at this point?
Yeah, how many timelines do I have to get through to get to heaven?
Yeah. Yeah, is it like a system? Is there, like, a cycle system?
I have no idea.
That would be crazy.
Maybe we could find a book on that and do an episode on that.
Sorry, that was very random, but I was like... The chapter is their 4th anniversary letter to Adam. Amelia is extremely upset and let down by Adam when he didn't show up at the doctor's office. After many years of trying for a baby and IVF treatments, with this last round being the final round of IVF treatments, Amelia finds out that she is pregnant.
Oh my God.
And Adam missed it because he was meeting with a movie producer who was interested in the rock, paper, scissors screenplay.
It's all about rock, paper, scissors.
100%. She is alone to hear the verdict from the doctor that she named Dr. Doom. She was surprised and excited to discover that she was pregnant. Because she was angry at Adam, she didn't tell him at first. He arrived at the clinic right as she was leaving. She didn't talk to him the whole car ride home. However, when they got back, she told him. And Adam cried when he heard the news in excitement.
Yeah.
And they exchanged gifts and had a glass of champagne. This year's tradition was linen. And she says that he seemed to already know that she was pregnant because for their 4th anniversary, he gave her a linen cushion inscribed, "She believed that she could, and so she did." And quote, "It felt as if you'd already known I was pregnant. You believed in me, even when I wasn't able to believe in myself." That's really sweet. That was really sweet.
Yeah.
However, their celebration ended when they saw that there was bleeding.
Damn.
He saw that she was bleeding.
Same day.
Hours later, after the doctors confirmed that she lost the pregnancy, she threw away the cushion Adam had gotten her and wrote the letter to Adam. She kept the scan that she had gotten earlier and said that she would keep it with the letter. She says that she still loves Adam and is happy to be his wife, and she hopes that he is still happy too. Oh, it's a very sad
It is.
Chapter 26, Amelia. Clearly hearing footsteps climbing the stairs to the bedroom, Amelia tries the light switch by her bed, which doesn't work. She gets out of the bed and locks herself in the bathroom. Feeling trapped, she takes the what is it, the Gillette? Gillette? What is it? Like the razor brand? Gillette Venus razor, which is funny product placement.
That is
backs up against the wall.
That is funny.
I wonder if they have like a
deal, a brand deal.
Yeah. Someone tries to open the door and then pounds on it. Adam calls her name, so it's just Adam.
Oh, good.
She opens the door to find him holding a candle and not an electric torch. I'm not only ever calling a flashlight an electric torch for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Adam tells her that he heard a noise downstairs too, but checked all the doors and found that the chapel was completely locked. He says that the electric generator and plumbing doesn't work. And so with no water and no electricity, they decide that they're going to leave in the morning.
Good choice.
Adam holds Amelia close when they return to bed. She asks him if he ever regrets that they didn't have children, and he says no. He tells her, this is so fucked up. "Sometimes I'm glad we didn't have kids because I'm scared that we might have fucked them up somehow. The way our parents fucked us up. I think maybe our line came to an end for a reason."
Okay.
And she's like, "Damn, I wish he hadn't have answered my question at all."
Yeah, normally he doesn't ask.
Yeah, normally he doesn't answer my questions. I'm like really upset he didn't answer today because I really wish he just wouldn't have said that. That's all I know.
That's crazy.
She thinks about how she always felt abandoned by people and wonders if love is something that is instinct or has to be taught. Adam encourages her to take another sleeping pill to help her fall asleep until the morning, and she does.
Ooh.
Amelia thinks, if nothing else, this trip has already brought us closer together.
Has it, Amelia?
Has it, Amelia? Has it? Chapter 27, Adam. Adam waits for Amelia's second sleeping pill to take effect and slips out of bed to get back to what he was doing downstairs. Bob follows Adam down the stairs and he mentions how he knows which steps will creak and which ones doesn't.
How does he know? Does he say how?
No, never get the answer. He says he used to believe in love, but also used to believe in Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus.
And those are
fictitious beings, according to like the facts, I guess.
Waiting to see what you were gonna say. According to facts and reality, those things aren't fictitious.
Yeah. You know, do you know some people have, I forget what they call it something on TikTok where they they think that they're transporting to like different worlds.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
When you're sleeping and dreaming?
No, I don't know if it's like when you're sleeping or dreaming. Like I think that people do it on purpose. Shifting. Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. They're like people like claim that they have like realities in like the Bridgerton world. I saw like a woman on there that has like 7 different families in different like realms.
Oh my gosh.
Like
I've
one
never
with
seen
like
anything like
Colin and like one with.
I think I scroll past those things because I don't
Salvatore.
want to get stuck on that side of TikTok.
Oh, I watch them. I think they're so interesting.
They are interesting. That is really interesting.
So, you know, people like really
believe that.
Listen.
They believe they're shifting.
Yeah.
Into like Penelope and hooking up with Colin.
No, not that they're shifting into Penelope, that they're their own person. Because this one girl that I've watched says that she's married. She got married and engaged and like had a baby with Colin, and like she had to talk to Penelope and work out their friendship.
For real? Oh my God. But that's crazy because like Penelope and Colin don't exist.
Honestly, whatever gets you through this life, I don't even care. Because like
good
vibes,
for you.
The vibes.
Jealous.
That's such a vibe.
I wish I could just be so delusional.
Oh my God. My life would be so much
easier and like nicer and pleasant.
Do you know the way that I would only ever be shifted into the ACOTAR universe ever?
It's right.
I'm actually made it to Azrael.
Right. Move aside.
We have 3
else.
kids, and I'm now the High Lady of the Night Court. I killed Farah, and I'm the High Lady.
Yeah, you could have that.
That's my new world.
Amazing.
It's my inner circle now.
I love that for you.
It's like a sinister shift. Okay, back to this.
Back to our regular schedule
programming. He feels as though Amelia has spent a lot of time trying to change him and make him smaller. Falling out of love with his wife was a natural progression. Quote, "Nobody should promise to love someone forever. The most any sane individual should do is promise to try. What if the person you married becomes unrecognizable 10 years later? People change, and promises, even the ones we try to keep, sometimes get broken."
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. Adam says that he's been running recently to get back into shape. But Amelia only thinks that he's doing it because he wants to cheat on her, or he already is cheating on her, or like
being
there's
fit
some
for
sort
someone
of,
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She even throws his running shoes or his trainers in the trash.
At the cabin?
And they were brand new. No, like
Okay.
he's like thinking of memories.
Okay. Yeah.
They're just like constantly thinking back on like old memories. He says how everyone in his profession is getting younger and younger, and he is now like the seasoned professional / writer. He doesn't feel old, and he can't remember where the years went. You know, he says,
"Can't you?"
He says like he's attracted to people, but not because of their faces. He can't see those. He's attracted to.
This is real.
He can't see those anyway. He's attracted to what's on the inside. He says. He has fantasies, but doesn't everybody?
Okay.
He says his wife doesn't trust him, but he's also never been completely honest with her. So maybe she has a right not to.
Maybe he's onto something.
Yeah. Adam encouraged Amelia to take sleeping pills so he could get down here to do what he needed to do.
What in the hell is he doing?
He apparently does this often, even going so far as to slip him in her drinks when they're at home.
That's literally so insane.
That's literally like, that's got to be some sort of criminal.
It is.
Yeah.
Right?
Offense.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Like attempted murder, probably.
Potentially.
Attempted
bodily harm.
A bodily
with intent.
With intent. Definitely intent somewhere. Adam says that he cut the power twice. First, before realizing that the janitor would switch off.
Generator.
That the janitor.
So you said janitor wrong.
The janitor. First of all, realizing that the generator would restore it, and second, to finish his plans. And the first time, obviously, he switched it off was when she was in the cellar, the crypt.
Yeah.
And then the second time was in the night. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
That's why he went down there.
Oh, okay.
And that's
that on that.
That he's keeping secrets.
Yeah, he's
#secret keeper.
wanting to turn the power off for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
He's interesting.
He's a crazy cat.
He's going in a lot of different directions. I don't know what to think.
There's so much intent too.
Everywhere with everyone.
Yeah.
Chapter 28. Wood. Word of the year. Mensch. Noun. A good person. Someone who is kind and acts with integrity and honor. Okay. You're a mensch.
Thank you.
You can say it with like menace, but it's like good.
Oh, I thought you were like seriously telling me on that. I'm
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're a mensch.
Thank you.
You fucking mensch.
You're a mensch. You're mensch. You're the mensch she is.
She is. Oh, yeah. It's so nice.
Thank you.
It's February 28th, 2013, their 5th wedding anniversary. Amelia apologizes to Adam for acting so jealous and dealing with her grief of being unable to conceive and IVF failing as well. So Amelia is being crazy because of all the things that are happening and she's apologizing to Adam. Okay.
Yeah.
But she feels like she's moved on into a place where she can breathe again. She has Bob now and she's immersed herself into her work at the dog's home. She realizes she's a good person after being told repeatedly while growing up that she was bad. That's really sad.
That is really sad.
They had a row about October O'Brien, which is this the first time we
I think this is the first time we hear about October O'Brien.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so they had a row about October O'Brien, who is a young Irish actress that had fallen in love with Adam's screenplay Rock, Paper, Scissors. He's excited about her interest and excited for Amelia to meet October. They argue about how young and beautiful October is and about Adam's career, and in turn, he kind of makes fun of her for working at Batterseas and for not trying for anything better.
Yeah, he's the worst.
He's like, well, why don't you ever want to do something better than work at a dog's home? And it's she's like I like it. It's where I belong and where I'm happy.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah. What is his problem?
Rude.
Was that me?
I think so.
What was that? What popped?
I don't know. Your elbow, probably?
Yeah.
They make up, but he spends a good chunk of the next day at his agent's to see if Rock, Paper, Scissors can get momentum. In the meantime, he got Amelia a ticket to a show that she had been wanting to see for months, indicating that he had planned on them not being together that day. And she's like pissed. She got him a wooden ruler with the inscription, 5 years. Who would believe it? Who would believe it?
Who would?
Very punny.
Yeah.
And he got her a magnolia tree that he had planted in the middle of her yard and fucked up the vibe of her landscaping. She's like, she fucked up my entire yard with this magnolia tree.
Yeah, seriously.
I thought it was so funny. At the show, a smoke alarm went off and the theater was evacuated, so she went home earlier than planned. She had found him in October drinking wine in their kitchen on their anniversary.
The way that I would have murdered them both right then and there.
Murder first, ask questions later.
And honestly, the explanation didn't matter to me. Like, I would still okay, maybe I wouldn't have even after the explanation, I don't know if I would have murdered them, but here's what I'll say. You explain the explanation, I'll tell you exactly why and how I would have still been so fucking pissed.
Okay. But October is charming and explains that she's there to help cook them an anniversary dinner, because I think Adam explained to October that he's not good at cooking and it's like wants to have a special dinner with Amelia and then she would help them.
Yeah.
And October turned out to be a kind and generous woman and they had a wonderful evening. Adam is chuffed that Amelia liked October and she ends the letter thanking Adam for a wonderful anniversary. I am yours and you are mine now and forever. Kiss, kiss, your wife.
Okay, so I still would have been pissed because, one, he was supposed to be with his agent, not October.
Right. Not communicated.
Which is, first and foremost, for me personally, communication is like the biggest thing in a relationship.
Yeah.
So if you why are you not telling me about that? Like, and if you're going to be at my home, at the house, even if you know that there's a show, like, you need to let me know, especially if there's going to be a beautiful actress in our home at any time ever.
Right. for any reason.
Especially when he works in Hollywood and like everyone in the world knows the whole reputation of Hollywood.
Of
like,
course.
come on.
Yeah. And she works at a dog's home, which she's already being condescended to about by many people, him and
included
his co-workers, his colleagues.
Yeah.
And she probably feels a little bit self-conscious about that as well.
Yeah. And then like for me to watch, like if I walked in and looking at them like drinking wine, like I get that you're cooking for like me or whatever, but like you feel so comfortable as to come into my home and drink my wine.
Yeah, they're just too chummy. They're too
like,
chummy.
Yeah, there's just no way. Like no way I would have had her stay for my like.
Yeah.
Or
like,
that I would have stayed for my own anniversary dinner because I would have been like, do you not understand how fucked up this is?
Right.
Like, that's crazy. Like, that's insane.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
And as a woman, I don't understand how she wouldn't recognize like how this is crossing
October.
a line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, cause it's like, if I would be like, I would never. Period. As a woman, like if I was like in October's position, wouldn't happen.
No chance. No chance. I'd be like, all business has to happen outside the home. Sorry.
And I wouldn't mind like getting to know her as a person and being like, you know, because to make her feel comfortable and like all those things, especially with what I'm doing. But like that's an obvious line cross.
Yeah, that was crazy. But at first she's upset, but by the end of the chapter, she's genuinely like, October was wonderful. It was a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she's better than me because I would have probably left him at that point.
Yeah, that's wild. Chapter 29, Robin. Robin is hiding in a secret room behind the bookcase in the chapel. Adam came downstairs twice, but he didn't see her, and she wonders if he would recognize her since the last time that they met. So they have met in the past, and we don't know how. She notes that Adam somehow avoided all the creaky steps. How is he doing this? We learned that Robin used to live at this chapel, and she still could if she wanted to. That's crazy.
Yeah.
She thinks about how Adam and Amelia would want to leave too if they knew where they were. She sees her silhouette in the moonlight and makes a rock, paper, scissors motion with her hands, indicating that
she knows something
about his
Adam's
screenplay. Yeah, and about his work. Yeah.
Then, is it October O'Brien? Was that one of your guesses?
Yeah, for sure. Then, when it's safe, she leaves. She thinks about how the visitors didn't look or sound happy, and how could they really believe that they could stay here for free? Only fools believe in something for nothing. She gets indicating that she was the one that invited them there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She gets angry that the visitors want to leave, but that's not going to happen, even if the storm lets up. And she feels sure that at least one of them will never leave this place again. So all three of them feel like, all three of these main characters feel like Amelia and Adam, like something's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%.
That's crazy. Chapter 30, Amelia. Amelia shakes Adam awake before sunrise because Bob is gone. Adam is skeptical. He's like, he's got to be here somewhere. But he agrees to help her look, and she notices that he skips the creaky steps. He said he's already memorized the creaky spots and avoids them because they're annoying. Real or not real? I don't know at this point.
In hindsight, I don't even know.
In hindsight, finishing the book, we're not sure what's happening.
I still don't know. Yeah.
They try to lure Bob out from wherever he is with like his food, but no luck. Adam suggests searching outside, and when they open the doors, they can see that the snow is knee high. So it had been snowing like all night, and what is that, like 2.5 feet? That's a lot of snow.
That's a lot of snow, depending on how tall they are and how long their shins are.
I would imagine they open the front door and see no footsteps and be like, oh, Bob's not out here. Right?
Yeah.
Unless they're like, the wind is just constantly blowing over the snow.
Because he would have had to like barrel through it. Like,
right. You would see.
What did he leap? Did he fly through the doorway?
No. It's just, and they never bring that up. So that's annoying.
I think, do you know what it is? I think in this moment, they're just stressed out. They can't find him. They can't like understand. But also, how did Bob get out? Because if there's no Bob, like how did...
Bob is out. Where did he go? How did they not know? That's true. The footprints thing is a huge oversight.
It's the biggest oversight in this book.
Anyways, Amelia is panicked, but Adam says there's no way he could walk through this mountain of snow. He's got to be inside. No one ever talks about footprints in the snow, and I think it'd be pretty obvious if he was walking around outside. And I think that's my biggest gripe with this book so far.
That 100%.
Yeah. He asks if Amelia checked the crypt, and she's like, hell no, after last night and with no light, I'm not going down there. He says he'll use his phone, and she almost says, oh, silly, like you left that at home, remember? We already talked about that. But then to her surprise, he pulls his phone out of his bag. And he had pretended earlier not to be able to find it when he'd had it all along. And Amelia thinks, quote, the reason why a person lies is almost always more interesting than the lie itself. And that Adam shouldn't lie because he's bad at it. That's so crazy. He just like forgot about the phone thing. He was like, pulled it out because he's so worried about Bob.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, like, why does he care? It's obvious he does not give a shit about this week, if this weekend goes good or bad.
Right.
So what?
Like about the phone
why
thing?
is he trying to like? Yeah.
Just maybe to avoid confrontation. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
Chapter 31. Adam. Adam rushes to the crypt to check for Bob, but all he finds is a dusty pamphlet of the history of Blackwater Chapel, which seems to be a new addition to the crypt. He doesn't remember seeing that before. Amelia confronts him about the phone, and Adam admits he saw her taking the phone from the car, and she's been acting strange for weeks. And he's like, is Bob even really missing? And she's upset at the accusation and the state of their marriage, and she starts to cry again. She asks if he has a signal on his mobile, which was a reasonable question because they had different providers. And when he says he doesn't, she seems to be relieved. But he's confused about that. Maybe he misread it due to his face blindness. And like, he probably misread it because when you're relieved, that's in your face, right?
Yeah.
Again, maybe your shoulders will sag, but like he can't read facial expressions, right?
No.
That's interesting. Also, do you think them having different providers is
Weird.
okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Then he tells her that last night he didn't go downstairs for water. He saw something, which I don't understand, like what he saw. But then he found a drawer in the kitchen full of news articles of October O'Brien, and he shows it to her. That's confusing.
Even in hindsight.
Even in hindsight. Well, it's confusing for all of us in this moment, regardless. Then he hands her the pamphlet he just found and tells her to read it, and he doesn't think that they're welcome here. The pamphlet is called The History of Blackwater Chapel, and I just summarized it a little bit. So the chapel has been around since the mid-9th century.
That's crazy.
Old.
That's an old-ass chapel.
That is... There are rumors. I can't even like. I'm trying to.
I can't even like.
No, it's hard to imagine anything.
Quantify that in my head.
Exactly. There are rumors that the last priest to occupy the chapel was in 1948, and he fell to his death from the bell tower.
Whoops.
Apparently, the chapel had been used as a witch's prison in the 1500s, which explains the iron rungs because they would like chain them up and like keep them until their trial or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
Witch trials.
Yeah.
And the bones of more than 100 suspected witches were found buried in the floor. And the bones of children were found in there too, but I left that out.
Yeah. One as young as like 4 or 5.
Yeah. There's urban legends of ghost sightings on the loch and ghost witches wandering around looking for their missing children. The builders involved in the renovation claim to hear their own names being whispered in the crypt.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. But not every visitor experiences these things. For your information, by the way, and we hope you enjoy your stay. We hope you enjoy your stay. You know, you might not experience that. So.
Yeah. What? It's
So
a crazy ending of the line.
Hey, that's the pamphlet that they found. Like, that'd be interesting. I think I'd be scared. I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that, but somewhere deep
you don't
inside
believe
me,
in ghosts?
somewhere inside me, I do, because I would be scared.
I've seen ghosts. Ghosts are real.
Really?
112%. I have been haunted by ghosts.
Okay.
More than once
in
in my life.
A mini story?
Yeah, so I lived in a house in Colorado when I was younger, and it was built, I don't know, God, maybe it was over 100 years old.
Okay.
And it was off of Washington Park over in Colorado, and me and my my mother's boyfriend's daughter at the time.
Okay.
had seen like several different like apparitions.
Really?
Of like a man. I saw one of a man, because people died in that home, multiple people, of a man that would look out the basement window. She lived in the basement. We'd have sleepovers all the time. I'd stay with her, she'd stay with me, and I lived up in the upstairs area. She saw someone looking out the window. I at one point saw someone in my room, like a lady.
Oh my gosh.
It was like a maid that had passed.
You could tell what she was wearing.
Yeah, it was very strange. I thought it was, for me, it was, mine was more of a scary thing. Like it was almost like someone was trying to instill fear.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hers was more of like it was just literally someone like yearning and longing out of a window.
God, yeah.
But we saw those two things like completely separately and like multiple
times. And then found out later that
things.
you had both seen it, something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was like definite. Like I've definitely had things like that. I think my house now, I'm like 99% sure is haunted. Like doors close randomly.
Oh my
like
gosh.
Things shift around random. Like it's very strange.
That's so interesting.
I 1,000% believe in ghosts.
I'm a skeptic, but like a cautious skeptic. Is that the right phrase?
Yeah, like if it happened, it happened, but you wouldn't like immediately assume it.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like I'm not gonna completely rule it out, but I haven't found personal proof.
Yeah.
I think do you think some people are more attuned to that kind of thing?
I do believe so.
And that's why there's such a huge divide in believers and non-believers.
Yeah, I mean, like and I am not as much of a critical, like, logical thinker. I am in some ways, but other ways I'm really not.
Okay.
And I do feel like you're a little bit more of a like logical, critical thinker.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Where I mean, like maybe that's the basis for it. Like you have to be open to those sorts of things. I always have been. I've always wanted to be like a witch or a vampire. Like
yeah.
And in order to want to be those things and truly believe that you like would one day, is to believe that they exist.
Right.
And I've always believed that witches and vampires. I think that some of those things could 100% be a possibility.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the stories came from somewhere, right?
Dragons and such. There have been legends of dragons going back to like the beginning of like civilization.
Oh my gosh!
So it's like where any of those things originate from like different cultures. So it's like
cool.
Dragons.
Oh my god, maybe we'll have a separate podcast.
Wyverns, specifically, like like wings and shit.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So
we're so different in that way.
I know.
I love that. Okay. That was a fun story.
That was fun. Yeah. Anyways,
back to our regularly scheduled programming. Chapter 32, Amelia. Amelia is angry now. Someone is trying to scare them and she doesn't know who or why. She wants to find Bob, pack up, and leave. The only place left to look for him is outside. Amelia sees the bell tower and worries Bob got up there and fall off. And she voices that to Adam. And he's like, well, if he fell, then we'll see his crumpled body, which was like, come on, rude.
Yeah, that was a crazy thing to say.
Yeah, like abrasive, but okay. So they start to search around the bell tower and there's no sign of Bob. But there were 3 clawfoot bathtubs behind the chapel filled with plants that they missed the first time around.
Yeah. That when they walked around the entire building. Yeah.
Also, they did not pack for this weather, so they're wearing tennis shoes and jeans, which is very stressful throughout this whole thing. They also stumble across a small graveyard along with wooden sculptures dotted across the yard, like of animals like rabbits, tortoises, and owls. 20 minutes of screaming for Bob and no luck. Amelia suggests asking the occupant of the little thatched cottage for help, or at least to see if they've seen Bob, and Adam agrees and they head off. As they walk, Amelia thinks about how sometimes she hears dogs barking in her sleep, but out here it's so quiet. They do describe like the loch and the Highlands and stuff a lot. It's a very atmospheric book.
Yeah.
So I do love that. I cut most of that out, but I put this one in because I used to work at a doggy daycare and I would dream of dogs barking in my sleep.
Really? Yeah. That's so funny.
It's horrible. It was horrible. And it's not
just
a good
your
thing.
dog.
Yeah. You're just like at work, just dogs barking. It's bouncing off the walls. It's awful.
Yeah.
It takes 15 minutes to walk to the cottage, and it reminds Amelia of a hobbit house, and it looks like a terrible place to live. She knocks, but there's no answer. But she could have sworn she heard voices or like a radio or something. And they can see smoke coming out of the chimney. Adam goes around the back to check things out, comes back and tells Amelia that there's a woman inside sitting next to a fire. And he knocked on the window and he scared her. He said there were hundreds of lit candles inside and that the woman looked like a witch casting a spell. And there was a white rabbit on her lap. The woman stared at him for a long time, then got up and closed the curtains in his face. Chapter 33, Robin. Robin closed all the curtains in the cabin and blows out all of the candles. And by the way, there were only a handful of candles, not hundreds.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And she's like, men. They are so rude. They don't have the right to be here, unlike her. She thinks that, of course, they would come seeking her help. She's just upset that they caught her off guard. She wonders what they're thinking and that she knows things about both of them that she's sure they don't know about each other. And she's annoyed at how disgusted he looked at the sight of her and her pet rabbit, Oscar, her only companion these days. And he's the one that eats the baby food that we learned.
It's not a deformed baby. It's good to know, at least.
I love how the baby had to be deformed.
Yeah, I picture have you ever seen the first season of American Horror Story?
Of course.
Yeah, remember the small child that would throw the red ball? Yeah. And it was like a full deformed child.
Oh, but not a baby. He was like
sure,
like 6 or something.
Yeah, I guess.
Like a deformed baby.
That's kind of what I don't know why, but that's just like what I pictured.
Because that's scary, yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. It's just a rabbit.
It's just a rabbit.
She crawls toward the door on her hands and knees to make sure that she knows when they leave. It's surreal to hear them talking about her. Quote, they might not know who she is, but Robin knows who they are. She invited them here after all. Even if they don't realize it yet, they will soon enough.
Sinister Robin. Maybe she is a witch.
Oh, she does. They are setting her up to be a witch, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 34.
Just a couple candles and the rabbit.
Yeah, and then the whole thing about the witches and the pamphlet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Chapter 34, Amelia. Amelia wants to knock again, but Adam says she looked like a nutter. Like, we don't want to talk to her. He assumes it was a woman based on the long hair because he doesn't really know. He asks if this woman might be the one that she saw in the window last night. And Amelia shrugs. She's like, how do I know? And then she's like, do you think so? And he's like, I don't know. How would I know? Because I have face blindness and Amelia didn't see her.
Yeah.
Adam describes her further as medium build with long gray hair and maybe she's old. I don't really know. She has gray hair.
She has gray hair.
Yeah, she's got to be old.
His only basis is that she has gray hair.
Yeah, truly. Amelia wonders if she's the housekeeper, which they don't have confirmation that a housekeeper exists. They just assume.
that there is a housekeeper.
Yeah. Adam seems to believe that she is an actual witch. Amelia just sighs at his superstitious behavior. They check their phones for bars again and no luck. Adam suggests climbing a nearby hill, hoping one of their phones will catch a signal, and she agrees. Well, leaves a note first, and it basically says, sorry for my existence, but we need help. If you happen to have a phone we could borrow, we'll pay you back. If you see a black lab named Bob, he's ours, and we're offering a generous reward. Sorry again for existing and needing help. And it did feel like that. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry to bother you, but like, we're in trouble.
We need help.
Yeah. Then she slips it in the mailbox and is like, all right, hurry up. She's like, you gotta get out of there. Adam's like, what's the hurry? And he salutes a blackbird in case it's a magpie. And
I don't know what any of those words mean. He salutes a blackbird in case it's a magpie. What does that mean?
I think I Googled magpie in a superstition, and it's just like it's like a white and it's a black and white looking bird that looks like a crow. It looks like a crow, but it's like black and white.
Okay.
And they're just they're just involved in superstition. Okay. It's like seeing a black cat.
But what is a magpie?
That's a magpie, the bird.
But he salutes a blackbird?
He salutes a blackbird in case it's a magpie. Because they're similar. They're both birds.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
All right.
I'm with you. That took me a second.
One of his superstitions that makes Amelia love and loathe him at the same time. He believes it because his mother did, apparently. She thinks maybe she should start saluting as well, just in case. Like, I don't know, weird things are happening. Maybe I should start saluting.
Yeah.
When they walk a little ways away, Amelia says she heard something and suspects the woman was listening to every word they said. Chapter 35, Robin. Robin did hear every word they said. And the comments about her being a witch and her cottage being untidy hurt. She didn't need or want money or other people's things. She thinks about how she used to run away to this cottage when she was a child, just like her mother. She's amused about being called an old woman just because her hair is gray.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's crazy.
And that really does mean nothing because I've seen people on TikTok grow gray hairs, like a head full of gray hair at like the late 20s.
I was going to say, I could probably do that right now. What did he know anyway? And I said, what did he know anyway? Face blind fuck. She does tidy a bit, but because she wanted to, not because of what he said. And it was because of what he said.
It was because of what he said, yeah.
She sees that the visitors are halfway up the hill and takes the opportunity to smoke her pipe. And I guess that this is the last chance that she'll get to smoke it. And I don't know. That was confusing. I don't know how the pipe is super relevant.
I don't.
It's a little bit relevant, but it's like not super relevant.
They make it seem like it's more relevant than it is.
She thinks about how some locals, like the postman and a farmer, drop by sometimes, but most people stay away because of all the stories and rumors about Blackwater Chapel. And this is where we learned that sometimes the farmer is the one with the sheep. Sheep that
she lets him graze.
She lets the sheep. His graze on her property.
No, she lets him graze.
And then he'll drop off like eggs and milk as a thanks.
And like gossip.
And yeah. And then they have this symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
So now that the visitors are nearing the top of the hill, she slips a red collar into her pocket and readies herself to go out. She knows what happened to Bob because she took him. And she doesn't feel guilty, even though she used to own a dog herself and knows how they must be feeling. Quote, bad people deserve the bad things that happen to them.
Facts.
So she took Bob and she only has his collar, so that's not good.
Where did she take him? Because my thing is like she could have taken Bob into the study. She could have taken Bob into the other two like she could have taken Bob anywhere. Like
into the secret room.
Into the secret rooms.
Right.
Like she didn't have to take the Bob to the cottage, and we haven't seen any evidence that Bob is in the cottage. She just said that she grabbed the red collar.
I really don't know where Bob is right now. He can't be in town.
I don't know where Bob is at all in this whole thing until the end.
Yeah.
So like, where is Bob?
If you're like me, I Googled doesthedogdie.com and looked up this book to see what happened to Bob as soon as he was mentioned.
Yeah, that's so fair. We would have had to switch courses.
We would have.
If Bob died.
I literally would have switched books if something crazy would have happened. Because normally it's not, if you kill an animal in your book, like it's not important to the plot and it's just for like shock value.
Yeah.
And I'm not into that.
I'm not into that either.
Okay. Chapter 36, Iron. Word of the year, chuffed, adjective, feeling happy or very pleased. It's February 28th, 2014, their 6th anniversary. Dear Adam, this has been a good year for both of us, hasn't it? Henry Winters had asked Adam to adapt another novel. And Rock, Paper, Scissors is in pre-production thanks to October O'Brien.
Yay.
I don't know why I said it like that.
October O'Brien.
I was like singing. They celebrate their anniversary at October's French Villa home, which is so nice because she's kind of being canceled in the media right now for a speeding ticket.
Well, one of many.
Several speeding tickets.
She had like many. She had like several
things.
Her
like
license was being taken because she had so many speeding tickets.
And people are like,
so it wasn't like the tiniest of things.
You need to slow the fuck down, October.
You need to drive like not a menace to society.
Truly, like just be careful. Bob came too using his pet passport, and she saw a woman traveling with a rabbit in a white harness, which was really exciting for Amelia to see. She talks a lot about October's beautiful French home and the location and how it's Disneyland for wine lovers.
Yeah.
So they're wine lovers. And apparently...
That's interesting.
Yeah. And apparently October caught the renovation bug and has her eye set on an abandoned property somewhere a little more remote. In the morning, Adam gave her an iron bookmark that said, "Iron, so glad I married you." Very punny.
Aww.
And he said, quote, "I'm just chuffed you love reading as much as I do these days." And she gave him an elaborate looking vintage iron key. Then they had sex. And she hoped that Adam was picturing her and not October because like there were pictures of her all over the walls and she's young and beautiful.
Yeah.
When Adam was showering, she had a look around and saw a framed quote that said, "Be the person your dog thinks you are." And she finds October's mail, but it's all addressed to R. O'Brien. Robin?
Oh, interesting.
And Adam explains that October is just her stage name, but then he quickly changes the subject, which is fine with her. She thinks about how she gave him the iron key because she wants to tell him the truth about everything. But they're so happy at the moment. Why ruin things now? Is this the same key that he uses in the chapel? I don't understand how it could be.
Yes, it was because she said that she was wanting to tell him everything.
Yeah, but he used it so casually to lock the door. I don't know. That part's confusing. And then, so she wants to tell him everything, but they're so happy at this moment. Why ruin things? Better to let us live this happy version of us a little while longer. All my love, your wife, kiss, kiss. Okay, that's where we're leaving off. Now it's time for the predictions.
Okay.
And I have, obviously, we both read the whole book already. So, but I wrote down all my predictions before moving on past this chapter. And they're crazy.
So I had a couple things, right? So obviously I thought that Amelia was banging Henry Winter.
I love that.
At some point.
Yeah, that would make sense for
and that was that secret. Yeah,
okay.
like that's how she was helping with that, I suppose. I thought that I thought that October was actually the one posing as Amelia.
Oh.
And that Robin was posing or like was I don't know why they kept calling her Robin. Couldn't really come up with it. But I thought that Robin was like Amelia, the real Amelia.
Oh, okay. Ooh, that's good because
I thought
that would make sense because of his face blindness, and he smelled her shampoo and remembered happier times. So if she could have like known about the shampoo and just like faked her way into being his wife.
Well, yeah, and October was very close with all of them, and obviously honestly I understand that Amelia or whoever liked Robin or not Robin liked October, but she seems throughout she just seems very sketched to me from the second she walked into their lives. Like I could have sworn I was like, I was like, Adam is gonna fuck her at some point.
Oh yeah. Let me just run through my list real quick.
Okay.
I was reading this book and then going down and just putting these in as they came to me. Amelia is also face blind. Adam's face blindness is a lie.
Yeah,
it's not. Robin and October are the same person. And by the end of this half, I was like, 100%. Because R. O'Brien.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I was like, that's obvious. It's too obvious. The phrase almost always will be important. The act of stealing stories will be important. I have no idea the significance of October.
I literally have she's not. Okay. We don't know the significance of October.
Yeah, after I was like, October and Robin are the same. And then later I was like, I don't know the significance of October.
Nope.
Rock, paper, scissors manuscript will be important. Amelia's job will be important. Someone killed Adam's mother. How will that come into play? I don't know.
Yeah, that couldn't. So it obviously ties to his mother, but I didn't know how it. I did not know at this point how it tied in.
Yeah, so
and I couldn't even make a guess on how it tied in.
Yeah, I wanted to make predictions, but honestly, it was impossible.
It was really hard. I mean, there was a lot of red herrings, but it was so hard to put the story together.
Yeah,
that was what was so hard. you can make all these predictions, but it was really difficult to understand how it all was going to tie in to each other. Because obviously Henry Winters is important. Obviously, it felt at this point like October was important. It felt at this point like,
I mean, Robin obviously knows both of them. She's a huge
Robin
character.
was a big character. Yeah, a big part of both of their lives.
But who knows how?
His mom was a big part. Everything, but I couldn't figure out how
me either.
or why or what.
And then we get all these indications that Amelia is up to something at the cabin. Only one of them are going to leave the cabin this weekend.
As if someone's going to die.
Adam's slipping her extra sleeping pills. Like, what's up with that? Like, all this crazy stuff.
It feels like he hates her. It doesn't feel like he likes her at all. And honestly, like, it doesn't ever felt like like, at this point, I thought he never liked her.
Right.
Like, even when we read the letters, I didn't feel like he liked his wife.
Right.
I was like, he doesn't like her. He'll do things every now and again that I'm like, oh, that was thoughtful and that was sweet. But like, for the most part,
like, am I supposed to actually believe?
Am I supposed to believe that he likes her? Because I don't.
Like, I'm not sure. Is that intentional?
He seems like the kind of husband that everyone like looking in is like, may this love never find me. And she's like, oh my God, I'm obsessed.
Right. And that was the whole limerence thing too.
Yeah.
Oh. And so I think it's really good writing because she takes you in so many different directions and like, where's it actually going to go? In the ending, I feel like there's 5 twists.
There's a lot of twists. And by the end, I don't know what or who I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm rooting for anyone ever.
I'm not sure either. But I do like the ending and it was a good twist.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to talk about everything that we got wrong.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. Should we do quote?
Yeah. I was just going to say, what's your quote of the week? Because there's a lot in there.
So I had one that was like unironic. Okay. Life is like a game where pawns can become queens, but not everyone knows how to play. Some people stay pawns their whole lives because they never learn to make the right moves. Ooh. And then ironically, my other one was life makes other plans and people forget to live.
Life makes other plans and people forget to live. Okay.
Yeah.
That one's hard for me to interpret. I don't love it.
What, life makes other plans and people forget to live?
Yeah.
Basically, like live in the moment.
Is that 2 different things?
Live in the moment.
Yeah, yeah, of course. But like,
which I hate it. It's just sounds like a cheesy Etsy quote
it's
on my. I'm like not kidding. One of these holidays, I'm gonna get you just like mugs with just like these quotes on them.
Okay, and I'll put Zaid Meadow quotes on. Something
that I would
you would just display it.
Here's the thing, I would love that. I would love the quote where he talks about how he like that one chick. What did he get a blowjob from her? Like he like titty fucked her. But he was gonna like shoot a load on her pretty tits.
And then the coach walked in.
I want that quote on a mug.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll remember that. My quote of the week was, bad people deserve the bad things that happen to them.
Ooh, I like it.
I did like that one.
Yeah.
Unironically.
Zaid Meadows would like that quote too.
Bad people. Yeah, he would. He would. He would eat that up.
That would be on a mug.
That would turn him
on.
Sure.
Yeah,
literally get an erection.
He would get an erection.
Okay. Who would you be in this story? This is
who
a tough
would I
one
be? I would be
for this book.
Sorry, I was gonna say the fictitious housekeeper. I would be okay. I would be.
I'm gonna say Bob. I didn't have anything written down, but that's a good one. Bob the dog.
You know what? I would be the agent that Henry Winter's former agent.
Oh, that died?
Yeah.
Oh, R.I.P. His new agent?
Yeah, I'll be his new agent. Fine, I'll be the one.
Fine. Who would you want to be?
Bob.
Aw. I picked October O'Brien. I don't know if I really
In
would.
hindsight, that's a crazy thing to say.
I don't know. Even right now, it's not the best option.
No, it's not a great option.
But is Bob the best option?
Is anyone the best option? Like, kind of everyone sucks in this. Bob's not a bad option. Like,
he's just a dog.
He's kind of been living his best life.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a dog. He's happy and cared for.
Yeah, that's true. Bob is a good option for both. Who would you be and who would you want to be?
Yeah.
But literally everyone else is kind of just like a bummer.
A bummer.
Who's your favorite character?
Bob.
Okay, I picked the chapel as a whole.
Oh, I like that.
And you don't think about like places or objects being characters, but it kind of is.
Okay, the lock.
You don't have to change your answer. The thatched cottage.
Thatched cottage. The Morris Minor.
The cloth.
The 1978 Morris Minor.
The car. I love that one.
The crypt. The chains in the crypt.
Are you getting a little out of hand now? Okay. The chapel is my final answer, and it's a good answer.
The electric torch.
Oh no. For the confusion it creates for Americans. All right. That's where we're at for this week. We'll see what happened to Bob. We'll see all the twists and turns. There's a couple twists that absolutely shocked me. It's wrapped up really, really good and nice and neat. And
it does. Well, nice and neat is a crazy thing
for most things, but we will find something that doesn't fit. And keep this in mind. What did we say already?
There's several things that don't fit. I'll go back and we'll see. I know already. I've already written things that don't fit.
Okay, all right.
There are things that don't fit,
and then we'll be like, how does it fit? How does it fit? We'll make them fit.
Well, yeah.
Push them together like puzzle pieces that don't fit.
We'll shove it in there. Yeah. We'll shove it.
All right. So next week we're finishing up this book.
I don't have anything else. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at litlibationspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, go write us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts if you're enjoying us, or Spotify. Yeah. And if you have anything that you want to send us, send it our way.
Please.
And we'll see you next week for the conclusion.
See you next week. Bye.
And our 4th costume.
Yeah, don't forget. It's the best one.
It's going to be a good one. Oh my gosh.